question. What is a female donkey called? 215-263 WMMR. First caller in is Andy, so we will go to Andy. Hi, Andy. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
All right, bud. What is a female donkey called?
Jenny.
That's right.
Jenny.
Jenny.
Bye-bye, Jenny.
Hang on, Andy. We are going to give you a pair of tickets to see John and Pete, Jon Stewart, John Mulaney, and Pete Davidson on Sunday, September 10th at the Hard Rock Live at Estes Arena in Atlantic City. Tickets are on sale now via Ticketmaster. That'll be one hell of a show. We got
absolutely.
Tickets all week long to give away.
Well, so what's the jackass?
That's a good question. I don't know if that's the same thing as a donkey. I think it might be. Maybe you call it a jack, and this is a Jenny.
It's quite
the
possible.
male might be a jack.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nick will have to look that up.
A jackass is a male donkey.
All right. There you go. And a Jenny is a female.
Good job, Kath.
That was good, Kathy.
At the box office this weekend, Barbie was finally taken out by Gran Turismo, just barely. So Gran Turismo made $17.3 million. Barbie made $17.1 million.
Interesting.
But did you see that they thought that Barbie still sold more tickets? I didn't quite understand that. So it was like Cinema Day.
Yeah.
And so there were $4 tickets you could go. And even though that made more money, they still think that Barbie sold more tickets.
Okay. I went yesterday. I went to see it finally.
Barbie?
Oh, Barbie.
Yeah, Barbie.
What'd you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I
It was
gotta
great.
go.
Yeah, you should go see it.
I have to go. They were saying that people went for they took advantage of the $4 ticket and went a second time to see it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. It was definitely a good movie. It was touching and smartly written, and funny and campy, and all these interesting things. So third was Blue Beetle, followed by Oppenheimer, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Meg was 6, and then you have Strays, Retribution, Talk to Me, and The Hill, rounding out the top 10 at the box office. Where the hell? Hold on a
What
second.
the hell?
What?
What?
Well, I was going to lead with Bob Barker, but it was bumped down. I got it here. So Bob Barker passed away at 99 years old, and I saw a great post from someone, I forgot who said it, and they said, leave it to Bob Barker to make it to 99 without going over.
Yeah.
And so he got as close to 100 as possible without going over. His representative, Roger Neal, announced the news in a statement that was released on Saturday. And he wrote, it was with profound sadness that we announced that the world's greatest MC who ever lived, Bob Barker, has left us. He died of natural causes at his Hollywood Hills home. In addition to his role as an Emmy-winning game show host, he also appeared in Happy Gilmore as an actor. Well, he was himself, but Adam Sandler obviously took to Instagram yesterday to pay tribute to Barker. Alongside throwback photos of the pair together, he wrote, "The man, the myth, the best. Such a sweet, funny guy to hang out with. Loved talking to him. Loved laughing with him. Loved him kicking the crap out of me. He will be missed by everyone I know. Heartbreaking day. Love to Bob always and his family. Thanks for all you gave us."
He just was we talk about Alex Trebek and the legends. Bob Barker was just smooth as could be.
Yep.
And handled all sorts of situations. Drew Carey does a fine sort of yeoman's job doing, The Price is Right. But Bob Barker had that thing that just made it hum along.
Bob had he had seamless segues.
Yeah.
And that is what I really appreciated about him. He would be talking to the contestants and they would say something and he would transform it into a transition to get to either the prize or the game or whatever was pertinent at the time.
Made it move.
He just had a seamless transition with stuff like that. And my favorite moments were before the big reveal, when he would delay the big reveal.
Yeah.
Like 3 times. He'd tease it, and the crowd ate it up. He was fantastic at that.
He was so good at it. When anyone passes away, and if they've been on Letterman's YouTube channel, they'll often replay some of their highlights. And so Dave put up on that channel 2 top 10 lists that Bob Barker did, which were very funny and really campy. But I had forgotten what a great voice Bob had. His delivery was terrific, and it was so smooth. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's presence is just so commanding.
Drew Carey also honored him, and he said, very sad day for the Price is Right family and animal lovers all over the world. There hasn't been a day on set that I didn't think of Bob Barker and thank him. I will carry his memory in my heart forever. Bob, we love you. A little bit about his services. There's going to be no memorial service. There will be no funeral. According to Entertainment Tonight, the decision was made not to have any public services at the request of Bob himself. He'll be laid to rest next to his wife, Dorothy Joe Gideon, at Forest Lawn Memorial Cemetery in the Hollywood Hills. Following the confirmation of his death, flowers were placed on his star along the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Some interesting things about Bob. He didn't start hosting The Price is Right until 1972. That show had been on the air since the 1950s.
That's right. Yeah.
And it was in decline, and it was revitalized by Bob, who was the face of the program until 2007. Before that, he had taken over host as this old show that I remember as a kid called Truth or Consequences. And he spent, I think, like 18 years as the host of that show in 1956.
Absolutely. Those guys of that ilk, of that, Wink Martindale and Alex Trebek, and they hosted multiple shows and then found the one show that really, you remember it was Chuck Woolery, the original host of Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
And it became Pat Sajak.
You had your Monty Halls. Monty Hall was another one. Let's Make a Deal.
I was watching Family Feud a couple of weeks ago, and one of the categories was the greatest game show hosts of all time. And Alex Trebek was number one. Nobody guessed Bob Barker. I was yelling at the screen. I was
Bob
like,
Barker,
he's the best.
Yeah. In the Pantheon, clearly.
Yep. Throughout his career, he was awarded 19 Daytime Emmys and received an Emmy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1999. So,
and he was a tunnel rat in the Vietnam War, correct?
No, actually, he was in World War II. He was in the military, I think.
And he was on our side.
Might have been in the Navy. I'm not 100% sure. But, it was sad to see that. An icon like that.
We do have some clips.
Yeah, we're going to play these. Of course, he would always end the program with this.
Bob Barker reminding you, help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.
And he did that every single show.
He was a massive friend of animals and did so much great animal charity work.
That was one that I also, I just watched it all the time. That and all my children.
Kathy, that was your sick from school show.
Oh, my God,
That was the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was like you were off and running. I made it. I convinced my mother I was sick.
Yeah, I saw a meme on Instagram yesterday that it was 3 pictures. One was chicken noodle soup. It was chicken noodle soup, ginger ale, and a saltine. And it was like this, like if you were having this for lunch, you were homesick from school and you were watching Price is Right.
Yeah. And then you would hope that maybe they do the yodeling thing.
I love that. The Alpine,
that
right?
does it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's him talking about being busy in retirement.
I'm busy anyway with animal projects and various other things. And so I'm not sitting around worrying about what am I going to think about in the next hour, I'm having fun doing a lot of things. I'm a success at retirement.
That's awesome. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was the best.
Was there ever anything with him in the showcase models?
Oh, yeah.
There was?
There was, especially Diane Parkinson was one who was one, he picked wisely, but for a brief period, he was single, and I think he worked the crew.
Okay.
Holly was my favorite.
Holly was awesome too. The redhead. Yeah.
I loved her. Yeah, that was early
I remember too when
boner stuff.
a new model would come on. I'd be like, okay, who's she?
Who's this?
Is she gonna last?
Yeah.
And then here's the scene from Happy Gilmore. We have to play this.
I can't believe you're a professional golfer. I think you should be working at the snack bar. You better relax, Bob. There is no way that you could have been as bad at hockey as you are at golf.
All right, let's go.
Oh! You want a piece of me? I don't want a piece of you. I want the whole thing.
The price is wrong, bitch.
I think you've had enough. No? Now you've had enough, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, what a great scene.
They show a clip, and it's funny. It was he's had a lot of former or people who've gone on to host game shows who appeared as contestants on The Price is Right. Vanna White was one of the contestants.
Really?
Yeah, Vanna White was one of the contestants on The Price is Right.
I could see that because in L.A., actors and people who are trying to get into the business would go and do that circuit and try to find any way at all that they could wedge their way into that. So Wow. All right, a few other stories to share. A source told People magazine recently that Sandra Bullock is appreciative of the support that she's received since her longtime partner, Brian Randall, died after a 3-year battle with ALS at the age of 57. The actress has seen, quote, the incredible outpouring of support towards ALS research since Brian's passing. Source said that it was very important that when she and his family made the initial statement to Brian's passing, that those who were on this journey with her and Brian from the beginning were recognized, with the Healy Center at Mass General leading the way. She is so grateful to all of those who had donated and is happy that out of something so heartbreaking came something so positive for others. So people are donating to the ALS charities.
That's a wonderful thing to do. Yeah. I mean, she apparently, by all accounts, she was phenomenal, in her husband's final days and just took great care of him. So.
Allison Holker Boss is remembering how it feels to dance following the death of her husband, Stephen Twitch.
I saw
Boss.
this. She finally posted a video.
That is right. So he died in December of last year. And she told People magazine in May, I haven't danced yet. I've wiggled with my kids here and there, but I haven't yet.
I mean, and that's what their social media was, just littered with the two of them dancing. That's all it was. They would do like family dances, and then her and him would do something.
It was adorable stuff, right?
Yeah, really nice.
So on Saturday, the professional dancer shared a video of herself dancing to Missy Elliott's bomb intro, Pass That Dutch, to Instagram. And she captioned the post, truly felt so good to dance again. I was overwhelmed with so many emotions. I was both scared and excited. But dance has always been there for me, and now I am so grateful for that. Thank you, B. Perry Russell, for making it so fun and making me feel safe.
So she danced with someone else. I didn't know who that was either.
Right. So, yeah, it shows her and a friend dancing. So she's starting to heal from all this and move on, and get back to life.
I was
which
watching.
It's tough after you lose, obviously.
Absolutely.
Anybody important in your life.
I was watching Step Up 3 yesterday, Preston, all in. And, I have my own dance crew, so I can commiserate.
Were you guys all in?
We were all in. All in. Because, honestly, if we did not win that dance contest, we wouldn't get the residency in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
But we're from the streets.
It was on the line.
Yeah, we're not the high-paid corporate dancers.
No, not at all.
Oh, God.
Today reports that Danny Trejo is celebrating 55 years of sobriety.
Wow.
Yeah, the actor shared a photo of himself smiling wide recently and provided encouragement to others on their sobriety journeys.
He's doing a one-man show where he plays Dwight Eisenhower.
Oh, really? Okay. That's a stretch for him, but he's so talented.
Yeah.
But he said, I'm 55 years clean and sober today by the grace of God, and I've done this one day at a time, and for anyone out there struggling, you can too.
If you want to see a riveting documentary, his story, there's a documentary about Danny Trejo in prison, in Chino, in the prison system, robbing people, going into a store with a hand grenade, threatening to pull the...
damn.
That's how far down the path he was, and then he reversed it.
Yeah.
And then you see him later on in the movie going into prisons, counseling the prisoners, and the prisoners know he's the real deal.
And he's got a taco truck.
He's got a taco truck!
How about that? So he's doing all right. Congratulations
Not
to him.
just a truck, but like a whole, it's a
steering wheel, too.
So on the other side of things, Brandon Novak sent his well wishes to former Jackass co-star Bam Margera. He was at the Rock to Recovery concert event in Los Angeles on Saturday night, and he said, I'm praying for him. Said he's a sick man, as I once was, so I understand where he's at. And I just hope he finds the willingness somewhere in his journey to buy into suggestions that can maybe make his life better.
So I was watching a documentary. I watch a lot of documentaries about Brandon Novak, and he was counseled by Bam early on.
Yes, he was.
To help him get on the clean and in the straight and narrow and get clean and sober. And he's turned his life around. He's had like a Steve-O reversal.
Well, not only that, he was actually the recipient of the Service Award from Rock to Recovery, which aims to help those recovering from drug and alcohol addiction through writing, playing, and performing music. So now he's he's receiving accolades for this. They skated together for years before Novak's drug use got in the way of his career. And you're right. He had credited Bam as sticking with him through that and helping him out. But Bam's been battling his own addiction for years, and Novak said, we're not speaking at the moment. He said he's kind of in a different place than I am, and I'm just waiting for him to become ready and willing, and we'll be there. And until then, he said, we just kind of live two different lives at the moment. Bam, by the way, last week was ordered by a judge to wear an alcohol detecting ankle monitor for at least 30 days. He has to attend weekly Alcoholics Anonymous meetings and comply with outpatient treatment recommendations. The new bail conditions were set this past Thursday. He's got to stay in this general area, and that will be until he stands trial for the unrelated assault case stemming from that altercation with his brother James.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out.
He's got to wear a monitor. He's got to stay in check right now, or he will get into big trouble.
The last incident was that Radnor, right? The Radnor Hotel.
Yep. People reports that Arlene Sorkin, the actress who voiced Harley Quinn in Batman the Animated Series, passed away at the age of 67.
Did you recognize this actress?
No, but I didn't, but I probably should, because she played a character on Days of Our Lives from 1984 to 2010.
Yeah, she comes from the soap opera realm. She did a lot of character work.
She played a character named Calliope Jones Bradford, and I don't, Days wasn't really my big
Wasn't
soap.
your jam.
Yeah,
No, we were all my kids. That's what we watched mainly, and GH. But James Gunn and Mark Hamill honored the late actress on social media over the weekend. Hamill tweeted, "Devastated to learn that we've lost the brilliant Arlene Sorkin. Not just a wonderful talent, but a truly wonderful person. I'm grateful not only to have worked with her, but to have been her friend. Sending my heartfelt condolences to her family and loved ones." Let's see. Bill Murray. He was dating this gal. Is it Kellis? Kellis? K-E?
Oh, Kellis.
Kellis. Okay.
Isn't that Milkshake brings all the...
Khalees.
Khalees.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know.
That's the Milkshake song girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's saying that song.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
So earlier this summer, she had social media apparently on fire as it was revealed that she had been dating Bill Murray. There was also a significant age gap between the two, as she is 44 and he's 72. Furthermore, Bill had reportedly been attending events that Khalees had, such as concerts, and this included attending her performance at the Mighty Hoopla Festival in South London. According to The Sun, Khalees said that is said to have ended this relationship. Factors such as busy schedules supposedly played into the decision. But he and Khalees are reportedly still friends and fond of each other.
I thought they were going to get married.
You thought so?
No.
No, okay.
Well, she had a husband who sadly passed away last year, so maybe Bill Murray was a rebound or something fun or whatever. Yeah,
consoling, and it led to a relationship.
Well, that's not the most scandalous one out there. There's rumors that Dan Aykroyd and Miley Cyrus have gotten together.
Oh,
so
wow.
No, there's no. All right, this, I was unhappy to see this. Entertainment Tonight reports, but it's standard because of the strike right now. The release of Dune Part 2 has been postponed.
Well, the first one was postponed for COVID and all that.
Due to the strike, the film, which is originally slated to hit theaters November 3rd, is now going to be released March 15th, 2024. But director Denis Villeneuve is hopeful of making Dune a trilogy and is teasing the possibility of Part 3 coming alive. He said, if I succeed in making a trilogy, that would be the dream. He said, Dune Messiah was written in reaction to the fact that people perceived Paul Atreides as a hero, which is not what he wanted to do. My adaptation is closer to his idea that it's actually a warning. And on the third installment of the Dune film series, he said, I will say that there are words on paper. So it's just the beginning stages of something like that.
The first one was so terrific, so sensational. Fantastic. There was a time when it was, it was running quite frequently on HBO, and I would always watch it when it was on. Yeah,
I've easily a dozen times I've watched the entire movie.
I told Preston this not that long ago, but my fiance is reading all of the Dune books currently, and I think, Preston, correct me if I'm wrong, with the last one, Herbert started and then didn't finish, and other people have tried to pick up where he left off.
Now, his son kind of...
Okay.
So here's the history on that. So Dune Part 3 would be a sequel to Frank Herbert's original novel, Dune, which was published in 1965. Dune Part 2 wraps up the story of the novel, of the original book. The potential third film will be based on Dune Messiah, which was published in 1969. Villanova said that Villanova said that the third part would wrap up the franchise as after the first book sequel, the other novels became, quote, more esoteric. Like it started getting, I haven't read all the books. I've only read the first book. But apparently after the second one, it starts getting real weird.
I've heard that. Yeah. I think there's a part where they enroll in Rydell High, and that's where I became disconnected.
So he would, Herbert went on to write the other sequels in the Dune universe, like Children of Dune, God Emperor of Dune, Heretics of Dune, and Chapter House Dune. And then his son Brian
Cider Dune rules
continued building the universe after Herbert's death with a series of prequel novels.
To Kill a Duning Bird.
Yeah. Dune and Dooner.
Those all sound familiar.
They do sound familiar,
That's
don't
weird.
they?
Yeah.
50 Shades of Dune.
Yeah. All right. Anyhow, we're ready for clips now.
The Dune Vinci Code.
The Dune Vinci.
Dune, where's my car?
All right. The adults. In The Adults, a man's short trip home to visit his sister lasts a little longer than expected. And here, Michael Cera talks about portraying the sibling warfare that we all experienced growing up.
I don't come from like a warring, sibling thing. Like they, kind of have this like silent, like Cold War thing happening between them. And Maggie is sort of the peacekeeper. But I'm a middle child myself, and I sort of relate to that a little bit, like keeping the peace, trying to keep things harmonious.
Shut up, dummy.
The Adults is in theaters now. Here's our next clip. Here we go. The Equalizer 3.
Oh, yeah.
Is the final entry in the iconic action franchise, and director Antoine Fuqua wanted to go out with a bang. Here he talks about closing the book on Robert McCall's story.
It was really about finding a home for Robert McCall. We tracked his journey, which was finding his purpose, and then the second one, making peace with the past. And they're like, okay, where does he settle down? He does his final masterpiece of violence, of helping people, and then he has a home.
Yeah! Equalizer 3 opens in theaters on Friday.
So the original Equalizer, great. Equalizer 2, even better.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with this.
They didn't muck it up with the second
Not at
one.
all. In fact, making him like an Uber driver was brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see where they go, because those are great movies. All right, and that, in a nutshell, friends, is your entertainment report this morning. You know what we're going to do today?
What?
We're sending out the Cooling Caravan of Love. Our friends at Duncan and the MM Army are headed out to a few different locations this morning to stop off and supply some people working outdoors with a little bit of a boost, albeit a cool one. And so the first stop is going to be at XL Hydraulics in Clarksboro, New Jersey. And
that's where I get all my hydraulics.
I'm not sure what time they're going to be arriving there, but when they get there, we'll mention who set it up. But they got 40 employees and workers over there.
Oh, excellent.
Nice.
Love that.
Iced coffee this morning from our good friends at Duncan. And don't forget, Pumpkin at Duncan is coming. And if you haven't heard, Duncan's pumpkin lineup is back. We're going to have Brandon Marsh from your Philadelphia Phillies on the program, too, which is awesome. So we'll chat with him in the 9 o'clock hour. And in between that, we'll do some stuff. We'll take a break and be right back. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Released from Pastor Jesse Duplantis.
Oh, our favorite, the jet and pastor.
That is absolutely correct. And, he still wants his new private jet. But he wants to make it clear that he's not actually asking anybody for money.
Listen to these verbal gymnastics that he's doing here. I think even he's surprised at how much this caught on, because it just sort of swept across. It became a viral meme. And where these guys, it'd be easier to get away with this stuff maybe 10 years ago. And now it was just all over the place. It was on the national news. He was asking for his $54 million jet.
Yeah.
And we played audio of him walking down the hallway of his establishment there, his church, for whatever he calls it, pointing to the different jets he's owned. He has had three before. He needs this fourth $54 million jet that carries a lot of fuel, so he won't have to stop as he's spreading the word of the Lord.
That's it. So here's a couple of clips, and let's see what he has to say about not actually asking for money.
He didn't ask for money.
Here we go.
I'm not asking you to pay for my plane. The Lord said, I didn't ask you to pay for it. I asked you to believe for it. I don't dupe nobody. I've always been honest. 40 years I've been preaching this gospel, and I've never had a scandal. And this is not a scandal. I'm not discouraged. I'm not distressed. In fact, I am excited. I've never had this much press in my life. Well, that's negative. It don't make no difference.
And it's negative. It don't make no difference.
Don't make no difference.
So he's asking.
I am excited about all this negative press painting me as a money-sucking prick.
Yeah. So he said, I asked you to believe for it.
Believe for it.
Not to pay for it.
Now, if you happen, your method of believing involves your checkbook, I'm absolutely happy with that.
He had said, I never raised money for the plane. I put it in our magazine and said, believe God with me. He said there's a vast difference between believe in God and asking for money.
He's a Journey song, Preston. Don't stop believing.
Yeah. In the earlier video,
I'm just a small town preacher. Living in a lonely world.
He could turn it around.
Yeah, I could turn it around.
Yeah, he used to take the train everywhere.
Yeah, but I took a 54 million jet going anywhere.
So, without further ado,
WMMR presents Bucksco versus Delco.
Here we go, gang. This is going to be the final round today. Actually, 2 rounds of competition, same contest, but we are going to make this whole thing happen and finish it up today, and we are going to crown a victor, and that's all there is to it. Before we get to the final event, here is a recap of the events leading up to this epic showdown. Listen, the week started off with Operation Evac, a race where the contestants were blindly dropped into enemy territory. Kathy started at Casey's golf course, Paxton Hollow in Delco, and Casey in Bucksco at Kathy's alma mater, Pennsbury. Now, without using GPS, they had to navigate their way to their home base.
Just go straight. Thank you. Okay, go straight. Peel wheels.
I feel like there's probably another road this way.
While Casey was stuck in traffic on the turnpike,
That could work in our favor.
Kathy was able to navigate back to Bucks County, earning her 200 points.
It's a bunch of crap!
For day 2, both contestants needed a call for reinforcements. Kathy asked her best friend, Elisa, a.k.a. Queen Bee, and Casey brought in his big brother, Dave, a.k.a. Foz. The contestants and their partners mind melded, then competed in a thrilling match of the Pyramid Game.
All right, this is where the U.S. Open was?
Oh, that's Aronimink.
No.
Oh, Marion, sorry.
That's the one you just said?
Marion.
No, the other one.
Aronimink.
In the end, Kathy got an even bigger lead with 430 points, but Casey was right at her heels with 320 points. Day 3 brought us into the skies. We blindfolded Kathy and Casey, flew them in a helicopter over an unidentified spot in their respective county, and they had 30 seconds to guess what town they were hovering over. Casey had some difficulty figuring it out, earning 200 points.
I guess Knowlton is in media.
That's correct! Yes, you got it! All right! But Kathy got it on her first try, bringing in an additional 300 points.
I'm going to say Ben Salem.
That is absolutely correct. Day 4 was a doubleheader. Kathy and Casey went head-to-head in a county spelling bee, and then had to answer questions from Delco versus Bucksco from 5 years ago. Casey must have done his homework, because he was finally able to pull ahead. And so, the totals going into the final day: Kathy, 1,030. Casey, 1,170. Casey is leading in the competition so far. So I defer to Casey to decide who gets to go first.
Ladies first.
All right,
So I will
ladies
go.
first is what we're going to do. So Kathy, taking a look at the categories, which one would you like to begin with? Geography and transportation, sports, entertainment, schools and education, shopping, landmarks, history, or food and drink?
I guess I'll go shopping.
Shocker! I know. And how much would you care to wager in that particular category?
I'm going to go 50 points.
Kathy, what outdoor shopping area between New Hope and Doylestown hosts a place called Giggleberry Farm?
New Hope and Doylestown. I'm going to say Peddler's Village.
And that's correct for 50 points.
I don't
good,
know
Kathy.
what giggles whatever is, but
Casey, it is your turn. What category do you want to go with next?
Let's go sports.
Sports.
And I will go sports for 60.
All right, sports for 60 points. Here we go. Casey, your question. In Newtown Square, a famous heir lived on a large piece of land where he hosted a wrestling camp for Olympic athletes. What is his name?
DuPont.
Yes, that is correct.
Well done.
Okay, let's go schools and education for 50 points, Preston.
All right.
Schools and education for 50 points.
All right. Kathy, what is the Council Rock North mascot?
Oh,
Council Rock North mascot. The mascot one would find at that school.
I don't know. The Rock.
Okay, so you're going to go with The Rock?
I'm going to go with The Rock.
That's incorrect. They are the Indians.
I did not know
Indians.
Go, Rock. Go.
What year did the Springfield Mall open?
Oh, Jesus. I mean, why couldn't you ask me what year
He didn't.
Target opened?
Just ask it. Just ask it.
Kathy's very supportive.
This is the history of your county, man.
I know. And Target opened in 2005. But, you know,
Well, can you use that?
Wanamaker's closed in 95. Hex opened after that.
You did study. You lied to me.
No, my mom quizzed me last night. We were eating chili, and she asked me lots of trivia.
We're eating chili.
Yeah. Meet you in the basement. I'm bringing a pen.
I mean, the first Wawa opened in 1964.
Okay, yeah, let's get to the
I will
ball.
say.
If you got this right.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw out a number there. I'm going to go with the year I was born, 1975.
Oh, my God.
No, it was 74. Dude, you were so close. All right, you call no fair on that because it was before you were born?
No, I'm not going to call no. It was just that's a difficult question.
This historic restaurant is located along the Delaware River in historic Bristol Borough and has hosted both kings and presidents.
Yep. I've been there.
Once again, this historic restaurant located along the Delaware River in historic Bristol
My mom is going to kill me.
Borough.
That's a weird name for a restaurant.
And has hosted both kings and
Oh, my God. What is
presidents.
it called?
No, go to your happy place.
I know where it is. I know where I sat last time I was there.
Kathy handles stress very well.
She knows I love it when she yells.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Cracks me up. Mm-hmm. All right, think about it. Think about it.
Work from your seat backwards.
Yeah, it's like there's like a little hill when you walk in. It's a little railing outside. Statue.
Miss Romano is here. Welcome to.
I don't even know if this. I'm gonna say Georgine's.
Georgine's?
Yeah.
That's incorrect. You're going to kill yourself over this one. It's King George.
Yes! It is! I have a gift card in my wallet for that place!
King George the what?
The second.
King George the second. I've not been.
Yeah.
So have you been there? We should just carry on the discussion. I've been there!
I like the statue. Yeah, the statue and the railing are really nice.
Oh, man. I mean, like, I can picture it to a T. Exactly
right.
where I sat. My mom gave me a gift card.
You have a gift
I wish my mom quizzed me last night.
All right, so I have already closed out sports and I've closed out history.
No, you haven't. You haven't done any history.
Well, yes, I have. All of my shopping questions were freaking history questions.
Oh, my.
Wow. This
Thank
is
you.
what we've been
Thank
waiting
you.
for.
Yes.
Impugning the contest itself.
Yeah.
You knew it was going to happen.
It was good, though, right? What year was this thing? What? Stupid questions. Let's go food and drink. Maybe
Food and drink.
Food and drink.
Food and
For
drink.
how much?
For 50.
Food and drink for 50.
Preston's not even picking
Come on,
his
man.
head
That was
up.
a good joke.
Okay. All right. You get this wrong. You get this wrong. And this, if you lose this whole thing, this is all your fault.
Okay.
All right. You ready for this?
It better be a softball.
A large Pika's pizza.
Oh my God! Costs how much?
Is cut into how many slices?
Oh, okay. That's a really, really crap question.
A large Pika's pizza is cut into how many
do a little
slices?
diagram, whatever you want to do.
There's the box.
Round. and
It's a
then there's
rectangular
line.
shape, right, Case?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he's drawing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that is that's a Neapolitan, right, or is it Sicilian square?
No, they just do their own version. They put the sauce on top of the cheese.
12.
Right.
Casey says 12. Damn right you got there. And what did you wager on that?
50.
1,000 points.
The scores are as follows. Bucks County, 1,070 points. Delaware County, 830 points. But there's ground to be made up here. And we're on to round 2. Now, things are going to change quite a bit in this particular round. Our categories are going to remain the same. In the past, you've been able to pick your own category and pick your own wager up to 100 points. This time, I thought it'd be kind of nice because you guys have been avoiding certain categories. How about you pick your competitor's category and your competitor's wager in this round? Kathy's leading, and she gets to go first, and you get to pick the category that Casey will choose from and how much Casey will wager in that category.
Okay, I'm going to go history.
Okay. Of course.
WMMR.
Thanks, Kath. We're going to check in with the Duncan Caravan, Cooling Caravan. Find out where the gang is. Stopping off at a few locations this morning and sharing the love. But right now, had a wonderful weekend. Had a lot of great things that I participated in and was a part of. But with all of that going on, as great and as busy as my weekend was, I took time to notice.
You still noticed?
I did notice.
The noticer never stops.
Yeah.
Even when his family has him doing things, he still notices.
And I noticed.
You don't appreciate the noticer.
No, I really would like a little more appreciation.
Stand up for yourself, noticer.
Thank you. I'm going to try to.
Demand a little more respect.
Actually, this notice.
I'm tired of this crap.
The noticing that I noticed, the first one comes via Kathy Romano.
Kathy Romano is guest noticer today.
I don't even know what it is.
She noticed something.
She notices she doesn't know what it is.
And made me aware of it, so therefore I noticed it. But it is this is almost like a movie script. A woman wrote a message in a bottle. She's in Ireland. She throws it out into the ocean. And a New Jersey man and his family found the message while picking up trash on the beach in Wildwood, New Jersey.
It's pretty cool. It's in the paper today.
Yeah, it was. Took exactly 1,500 days. But on Friday morning, the message sender and the bottle finder finally found each other. His name is Frank Bulger, and he lives in Wildwood, New Jersey. And the person, now I am not sure how to pronounce their name, but it is spelled Aiofe. Aofe? I doubt it. So if anyone
Aoife.
Irish, what's that?
Aoife.
Aoife. All right, Aoife Byrne.
Spell it right.
More than 3,000 miles away in Bray, Ireland.
Wow. Wow.
Bulger and his family found Byrne's message in her message in a bottle last week. Clearing garbage from the beach near 14th Street in Wildwood. Thank you for picking up the garbage, by the way, Bulger family. And it reads, "Greetings from Ireland. I have thrown this bottle into the sea for someone to find another day. Maybe it's traveled down to Africa or to Iceland. I won't know if someone found this, but I hope it is found."
It essentially traveled directly across the ocean.
And the letter was signed Effie. And Bulger was dying to know why she wrote the message in the first place. He said, "I'm kind of obsessed, very interested in messages and bottles, to be honest." And when she first reached out to Bulger, he admits that he was a little skeptical. He said, "I emailed her back and said, can you send me some pictures and some writing samples?" And once he got the proof, he was sold. So Byrne had sent it into the sea in Ireland on July 17th, 2019. 4 years and 1 month later, it washed up at the Jersey Shore. And apparently this is one of, and this is what Bulger said, and he's right. He said it's one of the most Irish parts of Wildwood.
Yeah.
North Wildwood.
Yeah.
They do the Irish weekend there.
That's really funny.
Yep.
It's perfect.
Bulger's search for the sender apparently went viral because he reached out. He'd put the word out, and he started contacting radio stations in Ireland and TV stations in Ireland. And he said everyone, they were running it or they called us. And finally, the message writer came forward. So that's how they made contact with her. There wasn't a phone number or address or anything like that.
It was a wide search.
Yep. And he said, "I was shaking. I couldn't believe it. I never thought that we would find her." And he said that when it's time to take a trip to Ireland, they already have a place to stay with Byrne and her father, Martin.
You don't need to do that. I'm glad you found the bottle, but you don't need to be doing that.
I think I want to, and I know that it borders on littering, but I think I want to put a note in a bottle and throw it out into the ocean and see what happens.
What you can do is build one of those small clumps of water bottles, plastic water bottles, and a whole bunch of like 6-pack holders and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah, and plastic bags,
and loose line with hooks in it,
right?
And then push that out to sea with a message in it.
We always did this as kids. Did
you?
Yeah, we sent a bottle out, and then we always, even through the school. Obviously, you could never do it now, but we let the balloon go with our name and whatever it was.
We did. We had a pork chop attached to a balloon with a message on it.
It was when Philadelphia was named. This is back in the 90s, late 90s, I think. Philadelphia was named the fattest city in America, so we tied a pork chop to a balloon with a note on it, and we let it go.
Yeah, Kath, for our elementary school, we had balloon day.
Same.
And it was everybody had a balloon, and they let them go, and I don't know, maybe like a dozen. I mean, there are probably like 50, 60 kids in the class, but you'd get, you'd have a self-addressed stamp envelope on there, and then you'd get letters back from people that found them.
It's a cool thing. Didn't we talk to a guy who has like the world record for discovering
messages in bottles?
It was his
because he had found one that had come from New Hope, if you remember.
Yes.
And was trying to, I think he tracked them down or was trying to track them down, but apparently it's what this guy does. If he's vacationing or he may live on a coast area, I don't remember, but he kind of just scans for bottles, and he has found multiple messages in bottles that are floating out there. And I think that'd be just kind of a fun thing. And, it's, the likelihood of somebody actually finding it is pretty damn slim. But I gotta believe it's hard to find the right. You just have to get lucky to find the right tidal movement that is going to take it out into the ocean and not just wash right back up onto the area that you live in.
The odds Ireland across to Wildwood, you'd figure that it would float in other directions, or either float north or the Gulf Stream or whatever. But it crosses the ocean and exactly to the most Irish part of Wildwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would throw it in, and it would land like 3 streets down on the beach.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. All right. But anyway, I thought that was kind of a neat little story. Thank you, Sub-Noticer Kathy Romano, for being the correspondent.
Sub-Noticer Kathy Romano.
All right. Let's see what else.
Reporting for duty.
I thought this was kind of interesting and did not realize this, but apparently younger adults prefer subtitles on their TV shows, and it's not necessarily due to hearing issues.
What is it due to?
A recent survey found that millennials and Gen Zers watch TV with subtitles on 63% of the time, but only about 7% of the group have difficulty hearing.
May I guess?
Sure.
Does it have to do with YouTube?
No.
And social media? Because a lot of those things will automatically default to closed caption.
So here's one commenter that said, 22-year-old Sierra Sanchez said, it keeps my attention better.
Yeah, I knew it.
I tend to have a shorter attention span, especially being a part of the TikTok generation.
So when I watch something with Andrea, it's always on subtitles, and it's so that she pays attention and actually digests the information that's being said, because otherwise it just becomes white noise.
And I'll tell you another thing. If you watch a show like Ted Lasso, and you got a character like Jamie Tart who has a Manchester accent, you can't tell what the hell they're saying.
Absolutely.
You have to, even though they're speaking English.
I can't. If there is subtitles on, I am like a raging lunatic trying to figure out how to get it off. I can't. I can't.
It's
I
a
can't
distraction,
watch.
huh?
It's a distraction, and even foreign movies. Like I've tried, and I'm just like I can't do this. And it has nothing to do with my attention span or anything like that. It's just it's distracting to have it keep popping up.
I always default to subtitles. I want to have the original language. I want to hear it in its original language. They'll get creative where they place them, especially if the movie's in widescreen and you have, have a letterbox situation. They'll pop the subtitles below the screen. But I can see what you're saying if you're having to read. But they should do it in a creative way that makes it easier for you to process it.
Yeah, I prefer to have them on, but when I'm watching stand-up comedy, I prefer to take them off, even though I need them sometimes to like understand what they're saying. But the punchline will come up
earlier.
They actually say it. And I'm like, oh man, I just ruined that joke. So I'll turn that off. And then also, I don't like the placement. When I watch like Phil's games, they always put the subtitles up over the score. And where the score is also the amount of outs in the inning, the amount of balls and strikes.
I've noticed the opposite of that. When I've been watching games is that they won't cover up the graphics, but they'll put it over where the play is taking place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you can't see.
Preston, you're right.
You know, sometimes it'll interfere with a portion of the field, and so I guess it depends on what network you're watching. And where they put them. Yeah.
When you watch a show where there's, say, a graphic pops up or the opening credits,
They'll
the
put it over
subtitles
somebody's
will
face.
rise up above. So it's and if in the show there's a sign or something that they're reading, the subtitles will go above that.
Yeah. Casey, I've heard more than one person say that they wanted to wait until Oppenheimer came out on TV because they wanted to watch it with subtitles because of what you described earlier, that the audio on Oppenheimer was not great and difficult to understand.
Yeah.
And was there complex jargon as well, I would imagine?
Yeah, I mean, there's
Often talk.
Yeah.
So, instead of being seen as an extra feature, captions may now be seen as an expected service.
I need subtitles in real life. Is what I
in
need.
real life.
Yeah.
And you had talked about movies, films. When you actually go to a screening of a movie.
Yeah, like Oppenheimer.
At a theater, they do have options for hearing impaired and even visually impaired.
You tend to forget that.
Yeah, people who want to go. The screening times, I think, are fewer, and it's obviously you're going to have to be specific about when you go by to see one of those movies.
Can you claim like popcorn or snow cap impaired so they give you those for free?
So they give you those for free. I never considered that.
I'm snow cap
that's-
impaired.
I'd say it's worth trying at least.
Yeah,
Anyway.
just to see.
But I thought that was quite interesting,
It
and I
is.
think, Steve, that there's some truth in what you said about YouTube and TikTok and all that, because now a good portion, even videos that we put up, will come with that automatically
Automatically
subtitle.
on.
And by the way, that's
Where are those pictures?
Does that happen on? I don't do this. I don't post these things. There's a feature you can hit it and it will automatically translate what you're saying, or
Yes.
do you actually type in all those things, Marissa? I don't know.
All of the above. Sometimes we type them on there. Sometimes there is a Instagram feature that you can use to write out the subtitles.
Okay.
But translate it. That's the one that always writes you guys as President and Steve.
I could see that.
President Steve.
I
If you're
love
saying it
that, yeah.
quickly. And then there also is a closed captioning feature, which you turn on in your account to make it friendly for visually impaired.
Okay.
Yeah, so former calendar girl Cassie used to be a subtitle, like that's what she would do. She would
For live
well, then-
events.
yeah,
right.
For like news and stuff
Transcribing
like that.
services provided by you. In fact, I think do you still hear it at the beginning of at the end of the news?
But what I don't know is when I'm watching something with subtitles, like am I watching the same person? Like whatever they're like.
Is it still
it's
Cassie?
Well, no. Like if it's a live thing, right? Like if I'm watching a live
I think
sports
that's voice
program.
to text. I think if you're watching the Phillies game, I don't think somebody's typing out what
think
Tom
so.
McCarthy is saying.
Yeah.
I think that is
Oh, I
voice
thought they were.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
But I don't think so. But I just pulled up our live stream on YouTube right now, and you cannot click on the live stream closed captioning. So this is not voice recognition technology, so they can't say what I'm saying right now.
I
That's not what I'm
would
saying.
tend to agree with you, though. I would think, especially with the nature of how good voice to text is right now,
And that's why there's
that it would be
misses.
the default for there are misses, and sometimes they're effing hilarious.
There are mistakes that are made, but I believe that's voice to text
All right, so
technology.
that's the live stream. If you go back to like Friday's show, can you do the closed captioning
All right,
on Friday?
let me check. Let me. Let's do the Belly Flop Championship.
And by the way, I'd like to see if we can verify that. If anybody listening works in this industry or at the news stations, and I'd like to know. I thought that was a job. I thought somebody sat there and listened and typed along. I know they did at one point, but
It definitely was a job.
I thought that you would still want to rely on a human being,
right,
to do that. So I'm not really sure. Hang on a second. I want to go to Zoe has a comment here. Hey, Zoe, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, what's up, Zoe?
So, sorry to bother you at work.
That's all right.
So I just read an article that it's about the microphones now, too. It's not our hearing, but that people are speaking more quietly. They're acting more subtly. They even mumble sometimes because there used to be one big boom microphone that all the actors had to project to. But now they wear these little hidden microphones, like on their lapels and things,
Yeah.
And so they can be more natural in their acting and their voice, but it makes it hard to understand them and hard to hear.
So I can believe that 100%. I watched Strange New Worlds, the Star Trek sequel series. It's a prequel actually to everything, and the Doctor on the series is a very good actor, but he's very. And like, what is this guy saying? And so I'll have to pop on the closed caption, and I can see that because of the sensitivity of the mic, and they'll still boom mic an area just to cover the sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense.
Thanks, Zoe. Appreciate it. A good portion of it is you guys know I have hearing loss issues. I've damaged my hearing over the years, and a good portion of the closed captioning is for that reason, because I just can't hear everything that's being said, and I'll miss out on if I don't.
I like the way it'll describe certain environmental things too, Preston.
Oh, yeah.
Birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indistinctive radio chatter is one. If you watch Handmaid's Tale, because there's always somebody walking by with a walkie-talkie to your.
They'll also describe the music, like this is pensive music or whatever.
Yeah. Brooding, drone, and stuff like that.
So to answer Casey's question, I pulled up the Friday show on YouTube and watching the interview with Jared Freed. He was on the show via Zoom. There is closed captioning for everything that he's saying and everything we're saying.
Okay.
But on the live stream currently, no captioning.
Okay. I go to Teresa next on the phone. Hey, Teresa, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you all?
Wonderful. What's up, Teresa?
So I'm actually a teacher of the deaf, so I work with kids who have hearing loss.
Okay.
And I have a hearing loss myself, and so I use captioning all the time. I set it up for my students all the time. And there was a couple of things that you guys said that weren't quite correct.
That's a shocker.
At the movie theaters, it's actually a device that you just pick up at the counter.
Okay.
You just go in, and you can go to any time. And it's like a piece that kind of plugs into your cup holder. And so you adjust the arm so that you can see the screen and the captions at the same time. And you can go to any showtime.
Can you just do me a quick favor and explain exactly how the device works with providing the closed caption in the theater?
So I think it's just via it's a device that you would just go up to the counter.
Right.
And you would say, hey, I have a hearing impairment or whatever, and they would hand it to you. And it's like a little, I don't even know how to describe it, like a little rectangular screen that just, as if you were watching it at home with captions, but the captions come up on this little screen so everybody else around you doesn't see the caption.
Okay, all right.
Interesting.
All right, we're looking at it right now.
That would be, for a movie, I don't know if I like that or not, because I would have to be looking down too far away from the screen.
It's difficult. You have to kind of play with it. But for people who have hearing loss, we kind of have no other choice.
Okay. So they don't regularly have screenings that have the captions up on the screen?
Not all the time, no.
Okay.
They always have those.
Okay.
And actually, the first movie I used it for was American Sniper. Which I was like trying to hide my eyes at time, but then I could read what was happening on the screen. It didn't help.
Okay. So you couldn't escape it.
I couldn't escape it.
Yeah.
So that's what they can do at the movie theaters. And as far as like automated captioning, like the baseball games, games and that kind of stuff, sometimes they have some there are professionals out there called captionists that are doing it in live time. Most of the time, that's more of a delay to it, if you notice.
Sure.
It's not completely automatic. A lot of stuff now is automatic.
Okay.
If you would have a Zoom meeting, that is all automatic captioning. And over the years, it's gotten actually better and better.
Yeah, I mean, you figure when you do voice to text on your phone, as you're saying it, it's typing out pretty damn quickly. There's no big lag of when you say things, so that technology is there.
And it's very rare, especially if you enunciate correctly and try to give it time to play along, that you're going to have any mistakes. It is good.
Yeah.
It's correct. And then the other thing about the location of the captions, some TVs, especially the newer TVs, you can actually change where the captions come up.
Okay.
You can change the size, you can change the color, you can manipulate the captions, what they physically look like on your TV.
All right. I have to screw around with that.
I know, when my husband and I watch the Phillies, he likes it on a lighter print so we can see what's happening, and we have it towards the bottom so that it doesn't cover the score and everything.
You can pick that?
She said some
on some TVs.
Okay. On some TVs, yeah.
On the Xfinity setup, I remember I did this one time. I had it activated. I didn't realize it, but it was like reading assist, where you're watching TV. a man comes into the room.
That's for visually impaired.
Right.
Yeah.
So and I had that up and running. I'm like,
I've had
what
that too.
What is the hell is this?
I know. It's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
All right, Teresa, thank you very much.
No problem. Bye.
See you later. And have you ever made the mistake where you, if you're channel surfing and you pop on and you see a title of a movie and you're like, okay, I'll watch this for a minute. And you sit there and you come into a scene where there's no audio and then you realize you're watching the Spanish version.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I don't speak Spanish. And I was really going to watch
You remember that you don't speak Spanish.
I was looking forward to watching this movie.
We accidentally did that when we were buying a pay-per-view fight. We bought it in
my God.
Spanish.
Oh my God.
And we didn't realize it until sábado.
Yeah. All right. Other noticing was done
More noticing, even though he was busy this weekend.
by me, the noticer. And
Playing
this is
the best golf round of his life.
one of the best rounds.
One of the best.
So Steve sent me this one. Today is National Bow Tie Day.
National Bow Tie Day.
It is. It encourages everyone to wear this style of tie with panache.
You know,
French kiss Hurricane Schwartz today.
I think a tied bow tie just doesn't look as good as the clip-on ones.
I think in general, bow ties don't look that good unless
Yeah.
you're Pee Wee Herman. I've never been a fan of bow ties. However, for a tuxedo, yes.
I disagree, Case. I like the hand-tied ones. I can't do it myself. I've never done it. Marissa knows how to tie one.
I mean, it's the same thing as a regular tie. You have to know how to tie it properly for it to look nice.
Exactly. And I can't do that. So I do the clip-on. Or not the clip-on, the
clip around.
The clip around.
What
Thank
about
you.
Pre-tied.
It's a fake collar that you just click. It's got the bow tie already on it.
So apparently, the Croatian mercenaries during the Prussian Wars of the 17th century were the originators of the bow tie.
That's what I would have thought.
This bow tie consisted of a scarf around the neck to hold together the opening of their shirts, and using the name cravat, which derived from the French for crotte. The upper classes in France soon adopted this idea. Styles range to suit attire and occasion. And this article of clothing crosses eras and generations, too. Not only that, but men and women both wear bow ties. As a fashion accessory, its statements may be bold or subtle since they come in a broad range of fabrics, colors, and sizes. Some recognizable names from history and fiction have worn bow ties and have worn them well. So I'll give you
Give us some of the names, yes.
Famous people who wear bow ties. Winston Churchill.
That's right.
James Bond. Of course, he was in a tux
tuxedo.
quite often.
Yeah.
Groucho Marx. Orville Redenbacher.
All right. Orville was pretty rocking.
Jerry Lewis. He was in a tux a lot. Well, I guess in some of his movies, he wore a little bow tie, too. Bill Nye is a bow tie wearer. Indiana Jones.
Is that right?
Really?
As a professor?
Maybe as a professor. I think so.
Well, Henry Jones Sr. did.
That looks stupid.
So he did it as
It's best when it's a clip-on, Junior.
He did it as Bond and as Henry Jones Sr.
Sure. Donald Duck and Les Nessman.
Who's Les Nessman?
From KRP in Cincinnati.
KRP in Cincinnati. He was the news guy.
Gotcha.
Real nerdy guy.
Is Ken Rosenthal on this list?
No.
He's a baseball reporter. He always wears a bow tie.
He wears a bow tie?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's also very short.
It says here the bow tie continues to carry fashion power today.
I don't know.
I feel like it's losing its steam a little bit. It was like a lot of people were wearing it more casually.
Ties in general are like just not a thing.
Well, in the bow tie realm, I think you're right, Kathy. The delineation between formal wear and wear a tuxedo, you will wear a bow tie. But I think if casually going to work in a suit, how many people go and wear a bow tie?
Well, and people were. That's what I was saying. It was much more popular. I think now it's losing steam. The other tie, that's traditional. That'll never go away.
Should I try to bring back the ascot? Should I start doing
I'd
that?
love that.
Would that be my my new trademark, Kathy? Start to
Like
wear
in the
an
60s.
ascot to wear every day.
It really looked horrible.
Yeah. It's another national day, and I'll mention this one too. It's National Power Rangers Day. Yeah, it is.
Oh man, I have a great Power Ranger video.
You?
For one of Jace's birthdays, he was really into Power Rangers.
Okay.
And we hired a Power Ranger to come, and the dude was like, we talked about it. It was years ago. He was little.
You have
but
a big belly or something?
No.
Okay.
He was jacked, like steroided up that the costume didn't even fit him, and it was busting open in the back. And he was dancing for all the little kids. It was hilarious.
I remember a while back somebody I forgot where I saw this, but somebody had hired a Spider-Man.
Oh, I did
Was
that.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was me.
But the dude was like, could do backflips
Dude, he
and
was-
stuff like that.
He
That's
was a
awesome.
gymnast. He left when he left
That's
the
what you
party.
do.
He left on the roof of the car.
What?
And
Dude!
somebody drove him away. The kids were going nuts. Like their minds were blown.
I want that.
Yeah.
I want for the show to hire that Spider-Man. One of the best ever, and it was one of the earlier memes, Preston, was obviously an uncle or somebody had dressed up as Spider-Man for a kid's birthday party. Case, you remember this. So he goes running in, hey, kids, jumps up to grab the edge of the garage door.
And
Oh, no.
And the whole
Oh, man. The coolest Spider-Man type thing that I ever saw done. You guys remember when I was going to iFly regularly?
Yes, yeah.
There was a guy that would do this Spider-Man routine in there, and it was awesome because he could literally climb up the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then he would, and if you do this thing where you're standing in the middle of the fan, if you lean back and arch your back, you go straight up. Okay.
Yeah.
So he would pretend, and he'd only do it when kids were watching, like he was shooting two webs up. I just flipped the bird. I just stuck my middle finger up.
F you, kids.
But he would go zip, zip like that, and then he would pull back like this, and that would cause him to arch his back
Oh, dude.
and just shoot straight to the ceiling. It was
That's
so
pretty cool.
awesome. But Power Rangers had a variety of powers that they had. Their Ranger skills and abilities, I should say.
They were super trained ninja fighters, right?
Yes.
They didn't possess any like
superhuman
Avenger.
powers? I don't know. I think there were some powers unique to the different colors. I'm not 100% sure,
All right.
Steve. My kids were into Power Rangers. They were of that age when they hit. And
God, you couldn't escape them.
It was fun. It was fun to watch them. And the shows actually, Steve, reminded me of some of the old Japanese action shows.
Ultraman?
That were ported over to America. Yeah, and what was the Space Giants
Yeah.
and Johnny Sacco. Where there were a lot of martial arts.
That's where it came from.
And they would be wearing masks, so the dialogue was
Right.
interesting. It reminded me very much of that stuff, which was kind of heartwarming to me because I loved those shows when I was a kid. Yeah, Ultraman was one of my all-time favorite TV
A lot of
shows.
times when they would become the Power Rangers, obviously they would have like different martial artists step in and play and then the actors were the actors.
Here we go, Steve. Nick pulled up some information about the Power Rangers. Morphed Rangers generally possess enhanced strength, durability, agility, and combat prowess. Some possess superhuman or psychic abilities, such as super speed, element manipulation, extrasensory perception, or invisibility.
I didn't know that.
In addition, each individual ranger has a unique weapon, as well as common weaponry used for ground fighting. So it was 1993 that apparently the Power Rangers exploded into pop culture.
Wasn't it like one of the Power Rangers is in prison now for murder?
There was,
It was like yeah.
And then a couple of others of that cast that was the most famous cast here in the United States, I think, have gone on to have pretty tarnished careers.
Yeah. So it's National Power Rangers Day.
Yeah.
If you're a fan
Combine
of
them both.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, put on a bow tie.
Yeah. Did any Power Rangers wear a bow tie?
And celebrate. Not that I know of. All right, one last noticer story, and then we will move on. I'm trying to decide which one I want to.
trying to notice a noticeable story.
Let me see.
He's not violent.
All right, yeah, I'm going to do this because this is a product recall. Late model Ford F-150 pickup trucks and Expedition SUVs are inexplicably emitting super loud static through their speakers.
Oh my gosh.
Leading Ford to develop a software fix to prevent what owners have dubbed the sonic boom. The issue cropped up nearly a year ago. Sonic boom.
Sonic boom.
Dozens of owners have reported suffering through dangerously loud static to federal regulators, while Ford has reportedly received about 100 complaints of the issue.
Sonic boom.
Most of them involving
Tiger uppercut.
Most of them involving the 2022
Yoga fire.
F-150.
Yoga flame. Sonic boom.
Street Fighter.
Yoga flame.
So the sound system.
That's real.
That was actually from the game, yeah. The sound system defect has surfaced in
And then one of the less used screams was,
Bean is so small.
That's a weird thing to say.
What are those characters would yell that right before their attack?
Ha! Penis so small.
Was that E Honda?
Hadouken.
Yoga, fire.
But
Dalsim probably had a small wang, right?
Dalsim?
Yeah.
It seems so.
Although,
No
no,
way.
you
No
remember his
way.
legs stretched, his legs and
Well, yeah,
arms.
that was the
stretched-
one part.
Yeah.
Stretched way out. Maybe it compensated
No, he
for
was
his
packing some
tiny
heat.
penis. Dalsim.
By the
I
way,
like that guy. You could kick some serious ass with him.
real quick, going back to the Power Rangers, I totally forgot this, and the listener texted in. Bryan Cranston got his start as a voiceover artist on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and he went out on Colbert one time dressed in full regalia, dressed up as a Power Ranger.
Oh,
and,
that's
and
great.
did the voice. Yeah, he was like this high-pitched evil guy on Power Rangers.
I love that.
Yeah, and
What is it? Rita Repulsa was the nemesis, right?
Was it? So he played Snizzard, Steve? I don't know these characters.
Snizzard.
Yeah.
Nick, he was also in the Street Fighter animated movie.
Tiger uppercut.
Wow, so it all connects.
Yeah.
He played Fei Long. Okay.
Yoga, flame.
I don't
Tiger
either.
uppercut. Tiger uppercut. Tiger uppercut. Yoga, fire.
Yeah, here's the video footage of Bryan Cranston on Colbert up in the studio, and he dressed up as a full Power Ranger. And in this segment, he does the voice, which is pretty hilarious.
What was the character called again?
On Power Rangers, it was Snizzard.
Snizzard.
Yeah, which is a bad guy.
Snizzard, my Snizzard.
Under Frizzy.
Wow. So, all right. Well, back to the Ford Expedition and F-150.
Right.
Owners describe the static as ear-piercing and go on to say it's frighteningly loud. The sound seems to occur unprompted, which has caught some drivers off guard, forcing them to pull over and stop driving. And some Ford owners report being able to turn off the sound easily, while others say it lasted for 15 minutes or more.
Wow.
And persisted despite them having turned off the truck or SUV.
Whoa.
It would just keep...
It overrides all of that and stays on?
Yeah.
That's insane. It's like the Preston in the scene in High Anxiety.
Oh, yeah. He dies from the...
the radio keeps getting louder and louder.
Ford says the defect is related to the power amplifier in the affected vehicle sound system. The automaker has issued a technical service bulletin covering the F-150 Lightning and Expedition.
Well, that's one of your weirder recalls.
Isn't that weird?
The radio gets too loud.
I had never heard of that one before. So apparently... Owners can bring in their vehicles. Local dealers, technicians will push a software fix that uses the same amplifier to filter out the static to prevent the unwanted speaker noise.
Damn, yeah!
All right.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done noticing, all right? Because
the notice has wrapped it up.
we got stuff to do. I would like to mention right now, at this very moment, our cooling caravan from Duncan is on location, and they are at XL Hydraulics LLC in Clarksboro, New Jersey. And thank you to Amanda Lascala for submitting. There's about 40 employees and workers there.
I love that.
And they're getting the hookup from Duncan this morning, a little liquid caravan of love to begin the day. So we'll move on to the second location in a little while. But hang on, we may have to chat a little while longer.
Why?
Frank, the guy who found the bottle in Wildwood from Ireland, is actually
Frank Bulger
on our line right now. Yep. Hey, Frank. Good morning.
How are you guys?
We're good, man. How you doing?
Oh, it's been a crazy couple weeks.
I can imagine. So, for those who are just tuning in, I started this segment off talking about it. Kathy had sent me the story about a woman in Ireland who had thrown a message in a bottle out into the ocean. And 4 years later, Frank, who's on the phone line with us now, found it and ended up tracking her down, which is
an
incredible.
extensive search.
Yeah, Frank, what was so you get the message in there and it just had her first name. It was signed with her first name.
That was it, and we didn't even know how to pronounce the name at first. My wife actually found the bottle, and then we showed the girl from the Wildwood Sun magazine, which I'm sure you guys know of, and then she ran with the story, and it went viral, and then it got spread to Ireland.
Wow. Wow. By the way, first of all, thank you for cleaning up trash off the beach. That's commendable in the first place. And so it got in the local publication, and then it made its way to Ireland, and they started a search for her.
Well, once it hit Ireland, I started to get phone calls from stations over there, and Thursday morning I did their morning drive radio.
Yeah.
And the father heard me on the radio, and that's when he found out it was his daughter who did it.
Wow. How old is she, by the way?
She was 29 when she threw it in, and she's 33 now.
No kidding. I thought maybe it was a kid that did it or something like that. That's pretty amazing. And you wanted to make sure, because I read in the story that you had requested some handwriting samples.
Yeah, but you never know there was no monetary gain on it, but we just wanted to be sure before we released her name or released her information, and they sent the stuff right over, and we're like, it matches.
Oh, man.
I mean, honestly, as big as the world is, it's also very small. The fact that she puts this bottle in the water, it goes essentially directly across over the course of a number of years to, as Preston pointed out earlier, the most Irish part of Wildwood, and it all completes. Now now they apparently have invited you, if you're going over to Ireland, to stay with them. Is that true, or is that something that was made up?
No, that's true. We did a Zoom call with, I forget who. I've done so many interviews, but the father, he's a character, and he's like, Frank, Karen, Autumn, you have a place to stay if you ever come to Ireland.
That's wild, and they mean it too. We've gone to Ireland a few times. They're really good people.
Seems like everybody's your friend there.
Yep.
Yeah, no kidding. That's pretty amazing, man. So what have you done with the bottle and the message? Are you guys going to hang it up somewhere special, place it in the home? What are you going to do?
Or return it.
Yeah.
If she wanted it back, I would give it back to her. But at this point, we're going to do a shadow box and put it in the home.
Aw.
Nice.
That's really cool, man. I love this that you guys have made that connection now.
What if you get to Ireland and the first thing they do is, listen, we're a little light on cash. And thought maybe since you're living in the United States.
I'll buy you a beer.
Perfect. Yeah. Frank, that's such a cool story. I'm happy that this found its way into your guys' life and that you're enjoying this little 15 minutes of fame. That's cool, man. Thanks for checking in. We appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, guys.
All right. Have a good one, bud. We'll see you. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Man. That's you would hope something like that would happen.
Are you going to do my idea, which is to attach to a big ball of discarded plastic water bottles?
Yeah, and old beer six-pack openers and plastic bags.
Float it out into the water.
A few free fish lines and hooks and things like that. Go ahead and see what happens.
Yeah, lines and things that are dragging behind.
Sure, maybe some old netting.
Yeah,
something
and
like that.
an old World War II landmine.
Yeah.
Or, naval mine.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a cool little surprise. Listen, we're going to take a break. We'll come back in a second. Bizarre File Stories or what the doctor ordered next.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Other Pennsylvania county.
I believe Chester County.
Your answer is Chester County. And that is correct, sir.
Wow!
Delaware County split off in 1789.
Interesting. After the great Battle of Chester Hill.
They were originally together, and therefore Casey gets 50 points in that particular one.
All right, so for Kathy, I'm going to go with... This is hard. I'll go with sports.
Of course.
For 100.
Sports for 100. All right,
So sweet.
Kathy, here's your question.
Yeah.
Who was Neshaminy starting quarterback in 1990 and current Penn State head coach?
I don't know. God, I know you're going to say it and I'm going to recognize it, but I don't know it.
Okay, so you don't have an answer, or you're just
say a
gonna
name.
throw a name out there?
Say your name. Say your name.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, although I think he's a representative.
No, that's incorrect. Casey, do you know who it is?
Franklin.
Yeah, James Franklin is the correct answer. So Kathy gets docked 100 points.
All right, I'm gonna try this, but I'm gonna go shopping for. What's the difference here?
You are at 970 right now.
You're up by
Casey's
90.
at 880.
All right, I'm gonna do 50.
Okay. Keep in mind, these questions came from residents of Delaware County.
People who live there.
They want you to win.
Yeah.
But these are the only questions that I had to go off of, Casey, so no complaining, please.
Well, no. I've already done all my complaining for the day.
I'm sure there'll be no more complaining.
You've got more to go.
I got
This site, recently home to the Countryside Market in Swarthmore, or is it Swarthmore?
I say Swarthmore.
Swarthmore.
Uh-huh.
Was a convenience store in the 1980s. The convenience store had 3 names before becoming the Countryside Market. You just have to name one of those.
Soups? Or like supers?
Incorrect.
Ooh.
No.
Really?
It was either Eddie's, Albert's, or Evans.
Okay.
All right, Kathy, which former Philadelphia Eagle graduated from Pennsbury High School in Fairless Hills?
Is it Troy Vincent?
That's a good answer, and it's correct.
Wow.
Yeah. In 1850, Delaware County's county seat moved to Media. Okay, Media is considered the county seat of Delaware. Where was it originally?
Chester.
He's right.
Yeah!
Chester was originally the county seat. All right, what category and what's the wager, Case?
Kath, I just want you to do well. All right, so I'm going to give you a whole bunch of points. We're going to wager 100 points on history.
History. This person was the founder of the religious school Log College and later the pastorate of Neshaminy Warwick Presbyterian Church.
Mr. Log.
Mr. Log.
Is that a real answer? I'm curious.
Yes.
Yes? No, it was William Tennant.
William Tennant.
Mother, I knew it was. You know what? And somebody sent me not that information, but somebody sent me information about Log College.
That somebody did you a disservice.
Yeah, they did.
All right, that was William Tennant, a well-known name in Bucks County. 1,010 for Kathy, 930 for Casey.
So 80
It's an 80
points separates the two contenders.
Last question for Casey.
Oh my God! Last question.
Yeah. Can we just keep going for a little?
Well.
Oh
No, I'm
wow.
just kidding.
Okay, so it's an 80-point difference. This is the last question. Is there a double jeopardy?
There's something else.
Okay. All right.
You look great today, Kath.
Go ahead, say the F word, Kev.
I know.
You want to say it so badly. We can dump it out.
The dulcet tones of Kathy Romano.
That's what Dennis hears around Frisky time.
Damn it. All right, I'm gonna do entertainment.
Okay.
Entertainment.
For 10 points.
Wow, okay, see, and this is where the strategy comes into
Yep.
play. Casey,
Yeah.
what's the Delco Dance Club that featured a spaceship and a dancing robot
Wow.
MC?
Listen, it's only worth 10 points, Kathy. Pulsations.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, absolutely. What's the category and what's the wager?
We're going to go 70 points in history.
70 points in history. And I got to get to history.
Right, Nick?
Yeah, man.
I didn't.
You play Jeopardy.
Yeah, I didn't do well in my SATs, but.
You even know how to wager.
History. What Bucksco town was named after George Washington's famous crossing of the Delaware River to take Trenton by surprise in the Revolutionary War?
Washington Crossing.
She got it right. That's exactly correct. Yes.
I got pulsations. You get that. That's fair enough.
All right. So, what is the score here at the end of round two?
Kathy with 1,080. Casey with 940.
I need the screen, please. For this, we're going to do something now. A few years ago, we had somebody call up on the phone, and we're going to do the same thing. This time, we are calling this, I don't know who's on the phone.
Oh, okay.
The category of I don't know who's on the phone is local businesses. Local businesses. So write down your wager now. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Wagers are in, and we're playing I don't know who's on the phone. Local businesses, the category, and we have our caller on the line. Good morning. Can you hear me, sir?
Good morning. I can hear you.
All right. Would you please present your question for our contestants?
Good morning. My name is Bill. I'm vice president of a local company. We were established in South Philadelphia in 1891. We are headquartered in Malvern, Pennsylvania, and we have 11 locations in Delaware County and 7 in Bucks County. One of your show members currently endorses our company. What is the name of the company I work for?
Okay. Marissa just handed me a note that says it's over.
It is over.
And
that's not fair.
And I shook my head. And I said, no, it won't be because more bitching is going to happen.
No,
It is.
you know why
After
it's
we
not
get
over?
the answer.
Because tonight you're going to wake up screaming, and you'll be reliving it over and over again.
Okay, so do we ask for their answers first, or do I ask our caller on the line what the answer is?
I think what you do is you go to the answers and then right.
Yeah.
And then I do the Alex Trebek. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go. And then we'll have our caller on the line to hang on just a moment. So, Kathy, you were in the lead, and that means you get to go first, I believe, is how that works. So, Kathy, what is your answer?
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts. And that is incorrect. I'm sorry. What is your wager, please?
300 points.
300 points. And, Nick, what does that total bring her to?
780 points for Kathy Romano.
Casey?
I really could have done a number on myself here, but I blame my brother if I get this wrong, because my brother's philosophy is go big or go home. Okay? My answer is Horizon.
Horizon. That is also incorrect. And your wager?
940 points.
Oh, my goodness. Let me go to our caller. Bill, can you tell these people what company you work for, please?
I work for Acme Markets.
The official supermarket of the Preston and Steve Show. Casey
wins.
Kathy
wins.
Oh, my God. Oh, my freaking God.
Bucksco versus Delco. It was anybody's game to the very end.
I actually, at the last few moments, was sure you had it, Casey.
I did too.
I was sure, because you're also, it looked as if you wrote a short word.
I did. And you know what really stinks is he's the new president, so I don't know his name.
Well, that's why we chose him, because if it was somebody that you knew by the sound of their voice, they weren't going to be able to,
Let's focus on what's important. I won! Where do you want to go to dinner, Casey?
Honestly, I thought for sure.
They're hugging.
If I can have a moment, I prepared something I wanted to say.
Casey's written a statement.
You know, I came here this week, and I didn't know what to expect. Now, I've seen a lot of people hating me, and I didn't know what to feel about that, so I guess I didn't like you much then either. During this fight, I seen a lot of changing. The way yous felt about me and the way I felt about you. In here, there were two people killing each other. But I guess that's better than 20 million. What I'm trying to say here, if I can change and you can change, everybody can change. I just want to say to my kid who should be at home cleaning, don't forget to scrub the toilets. I love you.
He's a champion anyway.
Not really. I'm the champion. Here's the thing. What's great for you guys is, because what I was thinking is if Casey won, then the whole competition would have been even out and we had to do it again. Now, I'm clearly
now there's no
the
grudge
winner.
match. There's no grudge match.
2-0.
No rematch.
Ain't gonna be no
I
rematch.
win. Thank you very much. I'm so glad that I didn't disappoint my Bucks County residents and friends.
You honestly, you
Mom,
both
Dad, I
played
love you.
very well. Kathy, you played very well. You did. You and I mean, especially honestly in the trivia, you pulled some things out of the proverbial ass that I had no hope you would get, and you got it.
Thank you
so
very
amazing.
much. Oh my God, this was so fun. Thank you guys.
Of course it was fun.
This
No,
was
it
great.
sucked, I think, for everybody.
What a fair contest you guys pulled off.
Now watch us find out that Soups is actually the name of the place.
Then I would have 100 points and I'd still lose. By the way, Kathy, you mentioned Dunkin' Donuts. Did you know that there's 33 Dunkin' Donuts locations
Oh,
in
there's
Delaware
26 in Bucks County.
County? Yeah.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because you did the Wawa question last year.
Do you know how many swim clubs there are in Bucks County?
Listen, you know what? I want to know. I don't know if we're going to do this now or not, but some of the questions that we didn't go over, because there was something that I was sure you guys were going to answer, and I really put a lot of time studying it.
What was it?
I have several other ones, and we don't have time to do it now. But maybe next week we can go through some of the questions, because
we'll do a question purge.
I'm dying to know.
So one of the big things in Bucks County, and specifically Levittown, was the LPRA pools. and I thought for sure you were going to ask questions about those.
Nothing came up about that.
Yeah,
So,
and because we were both lifeguards, I could have sworn there was going to be. There were a couple of things where I'm like, all right, what do Kathy and I both have in common? Dunkin' Donuts was obviously the one, and I thought about Acme, but I wasn't sure how many Acmes there were in Bucks County.
Yeah.
So
I had to pick something that both counties had in common.
I know. And
I tried to see if there was maybe a famous person that was born in one county and went to school in another or lived in another, and I couldn't come up with anybody.
How about this one?
Okay.
William Penn founded two towns on either side of Philadelphia, and he called them new towns. Okay, so there's a Newtown, Bucks County, and a Newtown, Delaware County. Same question, different answers. So
Interesting.
Newtown, Delaware County was founded in 1681, and then you guys were like 1684 or something like that.
Well, William Penn actually was born in Rutledge and opened up the first sweet roll shop in Croydon.
Yeah.
I did so much research. Meanwhile, we both were like, no, we're not doing anything.
Kathy, Marissa, there's a couple of pieces of paper underneath my
I
computer.
did so much research on, and it didn't need to be because I knew you weren't going to stick to Levittown, even though that's where I grew up. But there's all of those sections. All of the sections have different street name or have the street names with the same letter of the section. So I memorized 3 street names for each section. In case you asked me the same question.
But then both of you were full of crap that you weren't studying.
Dude,
listen, and it wasn't until
Look at his study sheets.
it wasn't until last
It looks
night.
like his tax returns.
Steve, I did it last night, laying in bed. My cousin Katie texted me, and she goes, "If you're not studying, I'm going to be so angry." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm studying. I promise."
Yeah, so like shopping, I'm surprised you guys didn't ask me about the bazaar.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Pro Team Collision. If you find yourself in a car accident, you need to call the team that cares about you and your repairs. ProTeamCollision.com. Man, have I got stories for you guys this morning. We will start with this one. A Florida chemistry student was caught on a neighbor's hidden camera allegedly injecting an opioid chemical agent underneath their front door, causing the family and newborn baby to fall ill.
So effed up.
Umar Abdullah and his pregnant wife moved into their new condo in Tampa in June 2022 and were warmly welcomed by other residents in the building. Shortly after, however, Abdullah began receiving texts from his disgruntled downstairs neighbor, Juming Lee, a seemingly regular guy who complained about losing sleep and hearing the toilet seat move. Well, after months of quarreling, Abdullah said that his wife and their daughter started feeling dizzy and vomiting. He said, I looked at my daughter, her eyes were full of tears. She wasn't crying, but her eyes were full.
Scary.
A friend first noticed the chemical smell while retrieving a package for Abdullah while he and his family were away on vacation. When he returned, he said he noticed the odor and it described it as more obnoxious than nail polish remover. He called the air conditioning company, found no problems. He called the plumber, found nothing wrong with the water heater from which the smell seemed to be emanating. His landlord placed the heater and replaced it and even had air ducts and vents cleaned, but the chemical smell persisted. Abdullah even called the fire department, but still they tested and revealed nothing. So then, confident that there was an issue, he started sniffing that place like a dog, he said. When he searched his doorway, he found a small crack in the corner. Suspecting his neighbor that Yee might have something to do with his family illness, he set up a hidden camera outside. And when Abdullah's daughter became sick again, he checked the footage, and it showed Yee crouching down outside his door.
What a miserable bastard.
It wasn't clear what he was doing. He said, "We were shaking. We can't imagine that he's coming here and doing something." He adjusted the hidden camera angle, and when his daughter was ill again, he checked the footage, and this time the video showed him appearing to take a syringe out, fill it with liquid, and then inject the liquid into the crack in Abdullah's door frame.
Because they had a squeaky toilet seat?
Yeah, and they had a baby who I think maybe made noise. I don't know. Abdullah immediately got his family out of the home and called the police. Lee was arrested by Tampa police and slapped with a number of felony charges, including possession of a controlled dangerous substance and burglary. A hazmat test revealed the liquid chemical agent contained a combination of methadone and hydrocodone, both opioid pain medications. Lee is listed as a doctoral chemistry student at the University of Southern Florida, and he will be in court on December 5th. He is separately facing a lawsuit from Abdullah for domestic violence and from the Condo Association for breach of contract. So,
Condo Association is after him.
Messed up, man. All right, in Indiana, a man was arrested for driving a toy car while intoxicated. An Indiana State Police trooper was on patrol Wednesday night. It was around 9 p.m. when he saw a man driving down the road in a Power Wheels Jeep with no lights or reflectors.
Those things are awesome, by the way.
The trooper pulled him over and identified the man as 51-year-old John McKee. The officer noticed that McKee seemed to be impaired and gave him a field sobriety test, which he failed.
Are you looking for Barbie Land?
More testing at Good Samaritan Hospital showed McKee was under the influence of meth and marijuana.
Those things go like 4 miles an hour, right?
Yeah. The deputy arrested him and took him to the county jail for operating a vehicle while intoxicated with a prior conviction as well.
The toy store should have taken his keys.
A tourist wandered off trail into one of Yellowstone National Park's scalding hot springs and burned himself.
No.
Now he's charged with off-trail travel in a park thermal area and being so drunk or high that he was a danger to himself or others.
I wonder, on average, how many people are severely burned and or die because they ignore the signs that are all over the place.
The 49-year-old tourist from Michigan was arraigned in federal court on Wednesday. He pleaded not guilty and was banned from both Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Parks until a court ruling on charges. Officials did not provide details about what happened when the tourist ventured off trail or how he got burned or which thermal area he accessed, but they explained the ground in the park's hydrothermal areas is fragile and thin with scalding water right underneath the surface. And that's why park visitors need to stay on boardwalks and on designated trails and exercise extreme caution around Yellowstone's thermal features. More than 20 people, Steve, have died from being burned after they intentionally entered or fell into the park's hot springs.
What a way to go.
More people have been injured or killed in hot springs than any other natural feature. In June, a tourist dipped the toe of her shoe and her fingers into a boiling spring before flinching backward and yelling, "It's very hot."
It's not like they're trying to keep it a secret.
And
it's all over the place.
2022, part of a human foot inside a shoe was spotted floating in one of the park's deepest hot springs. So, yeah, dude, it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. And don't be an idiot. A sunny day at the beach turned into a week-long hospital stay for an Apollo Beach woman after she was punctured in the back on Tuesday by a stingray's venomous spine.
Wow. Did you see the picture?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
horrific.
Tough to look at.
Yeah.
Christy O'Brien was visiting Ruskin's Bahia Beach with her husband when she decided to cool off and waded into the water, only about knee deep. She said, "As soon as I hit the water, I felt like I had been stung by something." And I don't know how this is on her back, so I don't know how she was in knee-deep water and this happened. Maybe she fell down.
It was a tall stingray.
When she leaned forward to get out of the water, her husband back on the beach was horrified by what he saw, a live stingray hanging by its tail from her back.
I want a divorce.
Its venomous spine puncturing her skin at the center of her right shoulder. O'Brien estimates the barb was more than 4 inches deep inside her back, missing her lung by mere centimeters. She said that with the stingray visibly agitated, she knew not to move, telling her husband not to pull the barb out. She said, "I was still trying to stay as calm as I could, but I was certain that I was going to die because, I mean, like everyone had this picture of Steve Irwin when he literally was punctured in his chest."
Yeah, through the heart.
Paramedics freed O'Brien in the water using shears to cut the stingray at the base of its tail.
Jeez.
At the hospital, a trauma team carefully removed the spine. As of Friday, she was still being treated for poisoning from the stingray's venom.
Yeah, you forget that they had that as well.
Based on the color and size, it is believed to have been the southern stingray, which is a non-aggressive species of little danger to humans except for their defensive barb near the base of its tail, used when a threat is perceived. Wildlife officials say that beachgoers should practice the stingray shuffle.
Yes.
To reduce the chances
It's like the Harlem Shuffle, isn't
of
it?
stepping on a stingray.
I just had a conversation with somebody about this. And
You slide your feet through the dirt in front of you, right?
well, you just slide. You
Yeah.
you don't lift your foot up
Right.
and step so that you don't step on it.
Yeah.
That's the Stingray Shuffle.
They
do that at weddings.
When we were staying in the Keys one time, there's not many beaches at the Keys, and the resort we stayed in had a small beach. And I just went out and I had a mask on, and I went what was only like, maybe waist deep water, and right there, stingray right
Wow.
there. Yeah. I was like, whoa. And I never would have seen it. I would have easily stepped on the thing. It was only, the size of like a hubcap. It
Still?
wasn't really, really big.
You ever do the alligator electric slide?
No, I have not.
That's pretty wild. If you're in a pond and you're not sure.
I hear it's electric.
Yeah, it's electric.
All right. And that is the last story that I have in the bizarre file for you. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back in a moment. Don't forget the cooling caravan from Duncan is on its way to our second location. They're going to Tioga Marine Terminal on Delaware Avenue in Port Richmond.
Tioga Uppercut.
And there's about 50 staff workers there. So we'll find out when they get there and give some love to those guys and our friends from Duncan with the MM Army. Don't forget to order Duncan's seasonal favorites, including their pumpkin spice signature latte, the pumpkin donut, nutty pumpkin coffee, and more. And, of course, Philly runs on Duncan. Brandon Marsh of the Phils going to be joining us in a little bit. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
On 93.3 WMMR.
The oldest library in the country is in Delaware County, Casey.
If it is, then it's Darby Library because that's the oldest in the county. And then the longest tenured mayor in Delaware County, he's been mayor for 44 years. Frank Kelly in Collingdale.
Okay.
Shout out.
Bob Casey, Pat Toomey.
Yeah. Well, Bob Casey's for
Ryan
both of us.
Fitzpatrick.
Do you know who your city councilman chairman is?
No,
Or
I
your
didn't do councilman. I just
John
did the Senate and
McElwain.
House of Representatives.
Bob Brady. That's our.
What else do I have?
The 7th congressional district is vacant right now.
Levittown's 22 square miles.
Felicity alum. Felicity.
Tonight on a powerful Felicity. Felicity shows up late for a chemistry class.
I'm sorry. I thought it was an 8.
That's to go to detention.
Go to detention. Felicity.
Carrie Russell.
Carrie Russell. She, formerly of the long locks, who killed her career by cutting her hair, but has now grown her hair back and is doing great things with the American.
So Carrie Russell was Felicity.
Sound like
history in Russell.
It's Carrie Russell's history.
Presented by Rita that she grew her hair back and it was wonderful.
Oh, gee.
She plays a commie bitch who pretends she's one of us. Those commies.
In what?
In The Americans.
Oh, the Americans.
You don't watch that?
No,
She's
no.
a spy.
I don't watch that.
It's like that John Travolta, Kelly Preston movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know
The Experts.
The Experts.
But she may join J.J. Abrams and Star Wars Episode 9.
We forget that it was J.J. Abrams who created and wrote a number of the
Felicity episodes.
I did forget that, yeah.
Yeah.
No word yet on whether she'll tackle a hero or a villain in the epic franchise. The movie begins shooting in London this month, by the way.
Unless we forget also that Carrie Russell won Mr. Skin's Best Butt Shot, I believe, in the Anatomy Awards.
Get a nice pooper.
No kidding. Casey says
got
she
a hell of a pooper. kind of butt you want to spend a weekend spelunking at if you don't.
Oh. Yeah, we are back from vacation.
We are.
So the.
Oh yeah, this is nice. It's good stuff.
Look, there's some soccer players in there from Thailand.
So the kids are gonna help you out.
You guys all right?
Wait, I see light from the badge.
Oh,
We can do this.
Wow.
It's a new survival story, unlike any other.
Walk this way, kids. Here we go. Is it a stalagmite or a stalactite?
The tight or from the ceiling stalactite hang on top, and the mites are.
You know that?
Yeah, that's the old stalactite.
It's tight.
Hangs
It hangs
tight.
on, and stalagmite might make it to the ceiling if it keeps growing. So.
And all of this is taking place in Felicity.
in Felicity's butt.
Okay, yeah.
Text says, driving my kids to daycare, my 2-year-old is calling my 1-year-old a commie bitch. Thanks. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Well, they're learning about a time in our history that was very important.
Yeah. Hey, I noticed a few things.
Oh, my God.
I did. I absolutely positively.
He's back.
Yeah.
You know what he does. He notices things so you don't have to.
Yeah.
You're too busy sleeping 3 hours a day on your job.
Yes, it's
He's
true.
out there noticing.
Hey, you know what I noticed? I noticed that My penis looks a little bit bigger in the summertime.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And I think I know that's why is that? You tend to be trimmer in the summer, don't you?
No, actually, this is something that was on Reddit, and I just used me as an example. This is not true, but apparently there's something called a summer penis.
And the living is easy?
Or summer penis
makes me feel fine.
So on Reddit, one user asked if others experienced a, quote, bigger D in the summertime and smaller in winter.
Bigger D.
I'm paraphrasing.
Winter's coming. Winter's coming. Smaller D's for everyone.
Men said soaring temperatures cause their junk to appear larger. And when they're happy, so to speak, when they're at attention,
clap your nuts.
Apparently, it's better.
When you're happy and you know it, clap your nuts.
Squish, squish.
Ow.
Dr. Dudley Danoff.
Dr. Dudley Danoff does not exist.
Author of The Ultimate Guide to Male Sexual Health says that hot temperatures cause blood vessels to widen.
Yeah.
And you may swell a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I'm swelling right now.
Urologist Dr. Jamin Brambot.
Stop it.
This is fake.
There's not even,
This
Dudley
real.
Jamin.
Dudley Danoff.
And his nurse, Katrina Thunderrod.
This is urologist Dr. Now, I'm probably pronouncing this. It's probably Yamin, Jamin. I just said
Yamin.
like
You
Jamin
got
better.
yourself a big penis there, man.
Brambot, which is Brahmbhatt.
Maybe it's Jamin, and his real name is like Benjamin, but
he changes it
instead of going by Ben, he goes Jamin.
It's quite possible.
Well, Yamin Brahmbhatt says that men's penises always remain the same size, but adds that blood vessels near the surface may contract to maintain heat, and that hot weather may cause those blood vessels to fill to the max.
We're not talking about, obviously, we're not talking about a 1.5 foot increase. We're talking perhaps just a general. Now,
Just a
however,
general
though,
fullness.
when you lose weight, it does appear to be larger. Correct?
I would think so.
Stand to reason.
I would guess so. Yeah.
So yeah, that's. But I mean, yes, in the engorging process, perhaps.
But also,
Bill loves all these words, by the way.
Don't you feel like your fruit hangs a little bit lower during the summer just because
it's sad?
Not necessarily that, but it's just it's warmer, so
I think so.
things
Right?
are looser.
For
Yeah.
proper child production, the baby batter must be cooler, right? That's why your testicles are the way they are in the body's configuration. They always say to you, loose and cooler. Is the you guys have kids?
I don't know. I didn't
really
look that much into it.
You didn't chill them up before you got it on.
But it is sophisticated.
Spray them with some CO2.
It is sophisticated equipment that is meant for the purposes of of reproduction. Yes, and therefore it maintains to a certain temperature so that your equipment
Your
works
McDLT.
properly, and you're cool on the cool side and hot on the hot. Anyway, we'll move on to something else. I just liked it because the headline was "Heat Waves Lead to Summer Penis."
Oh yeah.
From the noticer.
Thank you.
Makes me feel fine. Blowing into jasmine across my sack.
Love that song. Can't help it.
I did notice something else.
More from the noticer. He notices so you don't have to.
I noticed
across an empty field. Down the dark alley.
I do notice that I will use digital assistants from time to time. The two that I use are
your fingers.
No.
And your toes.
Not those digital.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Meaning Siri and Alexa. Those are the two that I use from time to time. Now,
Okay.
Alexa I mainly use for like a timer when I'm cooking or music to listen to real quick or something like that.
In your kitchen, do you have the Alexa show? Which has the screen on it?
Oh.
No.
It's actually very cool, especially if you're doing recipes or things of that nature.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyhow, there was a new study that finds which is the smartest of them all and in what order. This is Loop Ventures. They did a study that had researchers ask the 4 digital assistants 800 questions, and they found all assistants were great at understanding the questions. And they have determined who actually answered the most questions.
I have them all, or have had them all, This sounds like I'm bragging about sexual conquest. But yeah, so go through this. I'm curious to see if it lines up with what I experienced.
So they found that the smartest of them all is Google Assistant.
Okay, so that's what I learned, is that the ability to answer questions and questions contextually went to Google.
I can't stand when I ask Siri a question and she just gives me a bunch of websites to go to. I'm like, dude, just give me.
Do not like that. However, though, Google Assistant will most often default to Wikipedia.
There are obviously silly, ridiculous things that you don't need it for, but you use it for anyway.
I still do, yeah.
What do you think for you is the most practical purpose for using any of these?
Well, honestly, for the when I'm sitting, for example, if I'm sitting and I'm setting up something for the media, you know, I'm watching TV or whatever, and I'm looking down at something, or I need the lights on, or turning lights on and off.
Okay.
Playing music, playing
I think that's
the radio.
What I would use it for.
Playing. I walk into a room. I constantly use it for weather. I constantly use it. I'll get a quick news update.
Yep.
So I'm interfacing it with that. And if you look at if you find out on your app on your phone, it'll tell you your last 70 requests, and mine are always sort of the same thing.
Okay.
You know,
I mean, it records everything, so you can find out every single request that you've asked.
I am using them all the time throughout the day.
But you know what? Like, you're busy, Steve. I know somebody, Nick, who can probably come over to your place, who I think is in between gigs right now. Gary Lauer is not doing anything right now. His house is closed.
You know what? Honestly, you don't even need an echo. Just have Gary hands.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot out there.
Just have your own Gary.
I'll turn it on for you. Lights on.
All right.
Hey, Gary, lights on.
All right, 1 second. There you go. Gary, should I wear a sweater outside? I'll be right back. It's pretty chilly. Lauer.
Lauer.
Yeah,
Lauer. That's what it would be.
Yeah. Hey, Lauer.
Because Gary would be too common.
Hey, Lauer, play Allman Brothers. Lauer, switch to Skinnerd.
Hey, Lauer.
Yes. Switch to
Fuel 193.3 WMMR, hemorrhage in my hands. 8:29, Preston and Steve Show on this Monday morning. Clouds for the majority of the day. High of about 81 degrees, what we're going up to. A little less humid as well. Tomorrow, off and on rain. Little spots of rain from time to time, but it doesn't look like a steady downpour. Depends on where you are, of course, how much you're going to get. But tomorrow's high about 78. And then some morning rain on Wednesday, high 82. After that, I think we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, that's the word.
As we start to head into the holiday weekend, which let's hope for really good stuff over that. We're going to take a look at traffic, see what's happening. Kathy, what do you have for us?
On the Schuylkill eastbound, you're slow 202 into Gulf Mills, Montgomery to the Vine. Westbound side, University to South Street, City to Belmont. And then again near Conshohocken 95 southbound, slowing from Ridley Park to the Blue Route. On the Vine this morning, eastbound, that slows the Schuylkill to Broad, westbound 95 to Broad Street, the Ben Franklin Parkway to the Schuylkill Expressway. An accident still out there in Dresher, Limekiln Pike at Dresher Town Road. 422 eastbound jams from Trooper to First Avenue. An accident in New Jersey on the 42 freeway northbound. Right at 55, you're jammed back to 41. It is off to the shoulder. 55 northbound heavy Deptford to the 42 freeway. This traffic report brought to you by Mattress Warehouse. Save up to 70% at Mattress Warehouse today and sleep better tonight knowing you got the best possible price. Mattress Warehouse. Visit mattresswarehouse.com. And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
Thank you very much, Kathy. So we had mentioned earlier Bob Barker had passed away. We talked about his life and so on in the entertainment report, and that was sad to see, but what an amazing life.
99.
What a full life.
Yeah.
99 years old, and all the things, all the successful shows that he hosted throughout the years, and the work he did with the animal charities and pets and all that stuff. An amazing legacy for him. But you still feel bad when you see somebody go, obviously, who's been a big part of your life. And he'd spanned, a huge chunk of a few different generations.
And I listen, if you're of a certain time or a certain age, and that age is a wide span because he was on for so long, The Price is Right is what you watched when you were homeschooled from... sick home from school, yeah.
Sick, yeah.
I didn't even think of that until you said that, and that is absolutely true. I mean, that was like, you were like, yes, I get to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, so it would come on at like 10 a.m.
Was it 10 or 11?
Yeah, like 10 or 11, yeah.
11.
Yeah, I thought it was 11.
Yeah, it was midday. It was, early before lunch, so you were still kind of just hanging around.
Yay, I'm
lounging about.
off.
Oh, man.
I'm sick, but I'm off.
And
I won so many showcase showdowns.
Oh, my God. And when
I
you
was
would get
good.
it within, if you got it within $1, right? Or no,
$100, I think.
$100,
Yeah.
you'd win both.
You'd get both.
And
yeah.
I saw that happen a number of
did too,
times.
yeah.
It was the best.
Yeah, I love the showcase showdown.
I went and they walked away with all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was in the audience. I was in the studio audience one time, which was neat. I thought for sure I was going to get called, man. I thought they were going to bring me. I thought it was going to be, come on down.
Did you see anything like as to how they picked? Like, was it, because they would pick outside in the line, right?
They do a quick interview with every single person in the audience. As you go by, the producers are there. And they'll just, hey, who are you? Where are you from? You having a good time? And that's pretty much it. It's just like a quick 2-3 thing, and they're looking for...
They're going to assess.
They're looking for that thing, that whatever it is.
Yeah.
I didn't have it.
Oh, man.
But it was neat being in the audience and checking
Did
out.
anyone near you get called?
The way it was. No, nobody near me. I did go down quickly and spoke to Rod Roddy.
Oh, right. The legendary announcer.
The announcer.
Yeah.
I walked down there because at the time I had just started going to broadcasting school.
Yeah.
And I went down and I said, I said, hey, how you doing? I just want to, thank you. And I said, I'm trying to get into the broadcast industry. So, I said, like, you're a type of person that's an inspiration. He was a really nice guy. But the interesting thing.
I am feeling good, and I hope you are too.
And any of you guys who've ever been on a TV set,
yes,
it is way smaller than you think.
So small.
When I went to see
way smaller.
The Tonight Show, Leno went out there, and I was even prepared for realizing how small it's going to look when you get there, and it was even smaller.
But it's cool because it's more intimate than you think it's going to be when you go.
Agreed. Because the audience, when you look at the audience on The Price is Right, it looks fairly large.
It looks big.
It's really not that big.
Couple hundred?
Maybe. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
How many shows did they film when you were there?
We were only on
Just one? Okay.
Yeah. But I think they may have been doing 2 that day or something. But and we had to wait in line for a long time because we didn't have tickets. So we had to wait to get tickets. And we played like Rummy 500. I mean, we were there for like hours.
So I wondered in case with The Price is Right, because the audience, they're constantly scanning the audience. They're pulling contestants live from the audience. Whereas Jeopardy, they could do like 5 shows and keep the same audience.
Probably.
Right? At least for a couple of them.
Yeah, since the contestants are in the audience, they had to refresh and bring in new groups of people.
I would love when the people would come running down, though.
Oh, my God, it was the best.
It just was awesome.
Or when they fell occasionally.
Yep. Every now and then you'd have something. There was one woman whose boobs fell out one time. And Marissa, I don't know if you might look for that because Bob, in true Bob fashion,
He's a horn dog.
Had something great to say. I forgot
Wow,
what.
you have huge cans.
I think it might have been something like that.
Huge floppy knockers.
No, but just what a professional he is at how he could roll with something like that.
You could tell a young Vanna White was rocking Bob a little bit.
Nick just pulled up a screenshot of her, and she was stunningly beautiful
Vanna?
in the audience.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
June
So-
20, 1980. She was a contestant.
Isn't that wild?
Wow.
Well,
She looks amazing.
What's your name?
I was going through the games. There's an alphabetical list of games.
What's your favorite before you even go through the list?
Probably Plinko.
Plinko was a blast.
Yeah.
We did our own version of Plinko, did we not?
We did.
Did we?
Yeah.
So I can't remember the name of the guy. He was a carpenter.
Built the board.
Yeah, he built it for us, and
We
was
took it to Riscated.
I don't remember where we took it. I just remember him going, this was way more work than I had.
It's a ton of work, yeah.
I always loved the the price games where you actually had to pick the price or put them in order.
Right.
There was one where you would have to put the items in order from least expensive to most expensive.
How How'd you do where it'd be like a car and there'd be a series of.
Oh, yeah.
And you had to flip up the right sequence.
Yes. Oh, I loved that one.
Like $24,289.
Yes.
I like the one that had the timer and say there were 5 different things out there, and he would give you 5 different price tags,
and
you'd have to go and put them on each one and come back and hit the button, and it would stop the timer, and it would be like, you've got 2 correct. And then you'd have to go back and switch them back up. And
you didn't like the golf game?
I thought the hole-in-one, which of course would become he'd hit the button and it's the hole-in-2.
Or two,
right. And that was great because you had to do the pricing game first to determine how close you could move to the hole. That was a fun one as well.
I love those 2 steps where you execute the first part as well as you possibly can, and they gave you an advantage in the second part of the game. There were a couple of those.
Yeah. And then there was I don't recognize him by the name.
Gimp.
The Gimp?
The Gimp was great.
What would you do with the Gimp?
You would be there, and you would determine how far the Gimp was from you. You'd be bent over a table, and they'd say, "Bring out the Gimp,"
and he would make that muffling sound.
Exactly.
And you figure out how far away he was. Okay, I got you.
Wait, it reminds me.
It's time to play the Gimp.
I know. Remind me of the progression. What was the wheel that they spun?
Okay, so that's the showcase to get ready for the showcase showdown.
Yeah.
And so you would you'd spin it, and it had increments up to $1.
Right.
So it'd be like in 5-cent increments.
Correct.
And you had to get closest to $1 without going over.
And by the way, that was one thing that really pissed. I was reading about this that pissed Bob. He's a very congenial guy, but when they didn't spin it, do it.
Yeah. Okay, and then the 2 who had the top, they went into the showcase showdown.
Well, they did that too at the beginning of the did they
end
do it
of the
one
first
time?
round. It was you would have
they
three,
had 2 rounds.
3 games.
The show used to be. Wasn't there a time when the show was a full hour?
It was always a
Still
full
is,
hour.
yeah.
Yeah.
Still a
So
full
you would
hour?
do you would do 3 games. And then you would do the wheel spin,
Right,
and then
okay.
you would do another 3 games, and then another wheel spin.
And you could spin a second. Like if you only got 20 cents, you could spin a second time, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you got 2 spins to try to keep try to not go over $1. But
You always had 2
to.
spins though. Like even if you got 95 cents, you could spin a second time if you chose.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't do it because you had 95 cents.
And if you landed on
stupid.
If you landed on $1, then you had a chance to go back and spin the wheel again.
Yeah.
And if it landed back on the $1, I think you won $10,000.
Yes. And then one of the greens was 5,000. Yeah,
right.
and as a consequence, when I was younger, I thought that 25 cents and 5 cents was worth a lot of money because the price is right. I was like, oh, well, this is actually worth more than it seems it is.
I would love to have spun that wheel.
Oh my God!
yes.
I even now, though it would mean nothing, I'd still love a chance to spin that wheel.
Yeah.
I just want to see
I
what it
wanna
looks like
spin-
up close.
Yeah.
Is it heavy? It looks like it's heavy.
It looks like it's heavy.
Well, Nick, because you see people of decent body weight have to yank down on it.
Yeah. Here are a few of the pricing games by name. Let's see if you know them. Bullseye. I remember that one.
That was the one they would do when they didn't have a gimp.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was one. The card game, the check game, the checkout. These are in order. Cliffhangers. Is that the yellow one?
Alpine?
Yeah. It wasn't the Alpine. No, because I looked.
It's a tribute to the Stallone movie.
The contestant faces a game board consisting of a mountain slope divided into 25 steps with a figure of a climber at its base and a cliff at the top. Yeah, it's called Cliffhangers.
I thought it was the Alpine.
No, it is not Alpine. The only one that starts with an A was a game called Any Number.
Oh, all right.
Yep. So.
All right.
Yep. So it was called Cliffhanger.
Right.
That definitely was one of the popular ones. One of the most popular.
It just was also a cool mechanism to watch the thing go up the cliff.
Yeah, agreed.
Or the cliff.
Well, that was part of it. I think a lot of it were the props that made it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Punch Out one.
Punch Out was great.
I liked Punch Out too. And really, you didn't have to have a punching thing to it. You literally could just go up and pull a number down or whatever. The grocery game. Were those bags of groceries?
I don't know.
I think that was the listing the grocery items in order or putting a price on them.
Okay. Hot seat.
Hot spit.
Hot spit. I don't know what that one is.
Do you?
It's in the bag. Let them roll. Line them up. Lucky 7. I remember Lucky 7.
D's nuts.
D's nuts.
What was the one where they had the bag and you had to put your hand in the bag?
Bag of
And there were
D's.
X's.
Bag of D's, yeah.
There were X's in there, right?
Yeah.
And you had to pull out numbers and decide where in the price of the car, because that was usually a car one, if I remember correctly. And it might have been called 3X, or no, I don't remember, dude.
Triple X.
Triple X. There you go.
Yeah.
Hardcore pornography.
TVDA.
Yeah.
And now it's time to play TVDA.
Plinko's on here. Pick a pair. Punch a bunch. I don't know what that is.
Punch a bunch is the I think the one you the punch out.
Oh, okay.
then
And
there was
Falcon Punch.
There was a prize in there, right? Or there was an X.
The game is top prize $25,000. Contestants answered higher or lower pricing questions about 4 items. Each correct answer earns a punch on a 5x10 punch board. So that was Punch a Bunch. That's what those. See, we think we remember the names of these things.
Yeah, no, it was
Not
like
at
our
all.
own name.
Yeah.
The one where they punch.
Yeah, they punch. The Falcon Punch.
I remember the shell game, and I remember safe crackers.
Was safe cracker an actual combination?
Yeah, I believe so. The contestant attempts to win prizes by guessing the 3-digit combination of a giant safe that contains both prizes.
That was cool.
The combination is the same as the price of the less expensive prize. The contestant is given the 3 unique digits and must use each of them only once to determine the correct price in order to open the safe and win both prizes.
It was like a big door that was
Yep.
swing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Preston, you still buddies with Todd Newton?
I haven't talked to him in a while, but yeah, I could reach out to him.
Because he did the traveling show, right? Of
He
this?
did.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
does that still exist? And is he still associated with it?
I believe it does.
I think it
and I
does.
think he does from time to time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'd see stuff like that, like the Mohegan Sun and right?
Yeah, casinos.
Casinos.
Yeah, I
Casinos.
saw it at one of the casinos in Atlantic City.
Casino.
Hang on a second. We have somebody who won a car
No
on The
way.
Price is Right. It's Marcus. Wait, hang on. Let's make him feel right at home. Where's the music, Casey?
Oh, right up here. Yeah.
All right, hold on. There we go. Hey, Marcus, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, man. All right, so when did this happen?
This was about 6 years ago. I was in Vegas for a bachelor party, and I was going to visit my buddies in LA right after.
Yeah.
And like they had you could get free tickets to the show, so we booked tickets ahead of time. It was like March of 2017.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so fortunately it wasn't Bob, but I got to meet Drew, which was awesome.
That's still pretty cool.
All right, so tell us about when they did the quick interviews as you walked through. Did you do anything special when you talked to the producers?
Yeah, so I did a lot of research on how to get on the show, and like they were talking about like matching shirts and your energy. And me and my buddies were just, we were just so talkative. They stopped and talked to us for about 5 minutes, asked us a lot of questions.
Oh wow!
We knew one of us was going to get picked, and as soon as we were walking to our seat, the person that was like directing you was like, she touched her ear. She was like, "You 3 up here," and like we were like dead center.
Yeah.
So we knew one of us was getting picked.
Oh, that's awesome.
Excellent. Yeah, I think they want you like in the middle, so you got to kind of squeeze your way through the.
It doesn't take.
So you can come down. If you come down too quick, then I don't think it's enough. They
Right,
do
right.
like to get a little drama. All right. So, what game did you end up playing?
So it was a game that I hadn't really seen too much. It was called Cover Up,
Okay.
where you had to like there was like it was price of the car. So there was 5 digits, and there was like 1 number above or 2 above the first digit, 3 above the
Yeah,
second.
that's what we were talking about.
I know
Yeah,
this one.
Love that. Love that one.
Yeah, so it's hard. There's no like real strategy. You have to know like a ballpark range of the price. So it was pretty dramatic. I got like 2 right the first time, then 1 right, then 1 right, and it was the last one that I got right with the last chance.
And you won the car?
I won the car.
What
I got a
kind
great video of it.
What kind of car?
It was a Scion TC, which I didn't end up keeping.
Well, here's the deal. Let me ask you, because it's like Wheel of Fortune, for example, is known for, a lot of times the contestants report a big tax hit after they get the winnings on that show. What did you do, or do they advise you how to prevent that, or did you sell the car to avoid the tax hit?
Actually, it wasn't anything like that. When I won the car, you had to like hang out after the show was over to like give me your information, and there was a form you could have signed like right there on the spot that waived your right to the prizes. Because if someone wins like a vacation, like a lot of furniture, you can't sell that stuff to like recoup it.
Mm-hmm.
So some people, I was like, oh, people actually sign this. She's like, yeah, a lot of people sign it because they don't want to get hit with, $15,000 for winning, $40,000 worth of prizes.
Right.
Okay.
So I ended up selling the car back to the dealership. It was used though at that point because I won it. It was a lot of nonsense. But yeah, I ended up selling it back and using that to offset some of the tax hits.
Isn't that wild? So you got the Scion and you sell it back to the dealership as used, even though just because it was taken to the Price is Right. Was it that specific car? I assume that they wouldn't do that. They use like a dummy car, right?
I guess it must have been like a different one because I waited for months to get a call from a dealership out in LA. So I'm right outside Philadelphia. So I waited for them to call me, and they're like, yeah, it's available. And I was like, well, I'm not paying, a couple grand to get it shipped over here. And they're like, yeah, you can sell it back to us, but now it's like, $6,000 less than what you want it for.
Still, you made some decent cash, right?
Yeah, and it was a great experience.
Yeah, after taxes, how much you walk away with?
Probably like 12 grand.
For an afternoon?
Yeah.
And you did your research? It was money well earned.
Yeah, there was someone else, a lot of the research stuff. Someone watched every episode of The Price is Right, this was a couple years ago, and did an analysis on every game and, like, the statistics of winning it and what, like, the higher probability was.
Yeah.
There was a lot of games that I knew going into it that were, like, 50-50 chances.
Yeah.
But even with the contestants row at the beginning, it was, like, statistically, if you're the last one and you do $1 above the highest bid, like, it was like there's a 60% chance of winning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they made a documentary out of the guy who gamed the Price is Right system, but really, there is still a lot that is random about it. So you can be, no matter how good you are, there's still a big random nature to being a successful contestant on that show.
Exactly. There really is some kind of strategy for getting on the show. Contestants row, and some of the games was like if you did the research, you knew exactly what to do. But cover up was a lot harder. I knew it was going to end at a certain digit, but.
And so when you win the car, you didn't go to the show. Somebody obviously made it to the showcase past you, correct?
Yes, the lady in front of me. I think I had like 87. She spun $1, like right after me.
Wow. Oh man.
Bastard.
Wow. Well, that's
cool.
That's a great memory. That's really cool. And like you said, it wasn't Bob, but still, you were on the show.
If you can send us the video.
Oh, absolutely. The email you guys have online.
Yeah, just our names at WMMR.com.
Yeah, Preston at WMMR.com or Nick or whoever on the show.
And I will say, I was my buddy who I was there with. We waited in line for like 3 or 4 hours just to, like, get to the interview process.
Yeah.
And I was getting real fidgety. I was like, okay, I need to leave. Like, it was cold. I don't want to be there anymore. And my buddy, like, convinced me to stay. Thank God he did, because wouldn't have gotten
Yes,
it.
yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. All right, well, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the call in.
Absolutely. Love you guys.
All right, thanks, Marcus. We'll see you later. By the way, here is the audio of when the woman came down and her top fell off. Okay. And Bob covering for that. Here we go.
Welcome to The Price is Right. What is all this? What? I have never had a welcome like this. Now, just a minute. I have a feeling that this is not legitimate. I know you truly love me. But you don't really love me this much, do you?
Bob, they have given their all for you.
That's
great. So great.
We had a few sleds at Carver Classic that were Price is Right
Yes.
themed,
Yeah.
and inspired.
Most
In fact,
definitely.
the final
One
wheel.
right?
Yeah.
And they spun it as they went down.
Yeah.
We have someone who actually won a showcase showdown. Yeah, let's get that caller on the line. Please welcome Rob. Come on down.
Hey, Gadzooks.
Hey, Gadzooks. All right, Rob, number one, where are you from, by the way?
I'm from Delaware.
Okay. And what year did you appear on The Price is Right?
It was 2019.
Okay, just a couple of years ago. So with Drew Carey, and so take us through the process all the way up to the showcase.
Yeah, so like the previous caller, I was out there, me and a couple guys from work. We were actually in LA for a work trip, and did the whole thing. Showed up on CBS lot, like Preston was saying. It was like a whole day process. We were there for a couple hours, going through the line, getting the interviews done and everything. And as we finally make it into the studio, like I think Marcus, the previous caller, said, we were walking in and somebody grabbed us like, no, we want you guys to sit over here. And we were right up in the center, up in the back. And sure enough, they start the show, and I was the fourth person called down.
Wow.
So Rob, when they specifically grab you, if you go and they position you and they're seating you, the odds are more in your favor that you're going to be called, correct?
I think when they grab you and move you around, you kind of know something's up. Like,
right.
Someone in our group was up. We were sitting there waiting for the show to start. They do a whole pre-show thing. And so we had
one of the producers, my buddy, like kind of nudged me. He's like, "Yo, that guy on stage, they looked at the clipboard, they looked at you, they looked at the clipboard." I was like, "No, you're making this up." And then sure enough, you hear your name and you get up and you got to do the whole rundown thing. But it was cool.
That is awesome. So you got up. What was the game that you played that led you to the showcase?
Oh, so you know what? The game, it was I don't know. It was like one of those throwaway games. It was like a bargain. Pick the better sale price. And sadly, I picked the wrong answer. Okay. I did not win a washer and dryer.
Oh man!
So you don't win the prize, but you do get invited since you made it up onto the stage. You get to spin the wheel.
Yeah. So I spun the wheel, and you were saying earlier, that wheel is heavy.
Okay.
They give you a little pre-show, like a little pre-prep thing while they're like in commercial break, So they pull the 3 contestants aside, and they're like, "All right, listen, here's the thing. The wheel is heavy. You really got to like lay your weight into it to spin this thing around, because if it doesn't go around, the audience is going to boo you, and we're going to put it on national TV."
You know what, Rob? Here's the thing that I always had a tiny bit of a fear as I watched people spin that wheel, that they wouldn't let go in time.
Get crushed.
And that their arm would get caught in that wall.
So they warn you that too. They're like, also, the wheel is very heavy.
Yeah.
Don't lean into it with your head, because the handles are really big. And they're like, if that handle like clocks you in the head, you're going to go down. And the audience is going to boo you, and we're going to put it on national TV. But yeah, so I spun a 40 on my first spin and a 45 on my second spin.
Wow.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
And so that took me to the showcase.
Okay.
And I was actually up the second for the showcase. I think the other person had they won their game. I forget what made you get the chance to go first in the showcase showdown.
I think whoever rolled closest to
$1.
$1 without going over. Oh, wait, no. That would have been the first person, because first person could decide whether or not they want to bid or see the second showcase.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so she got to go first. The showcase comes up, and it was a vacation package like they do. So it was a trip to Portugal, a trip to the Bahamas.
A trip to Portugal.
And a trip to British Columbia, Canada. And so they go through the whole thing, and she passes to me. And now I'm like, I was paying attention, but now you're like on the spot.
Right.
And so, I looked to my buddies in the audience and back and forth. And so I bid $24,995. I wanted to like stay just shy under 25. I don't know. That was the gut feeling.
Yeah.
And so then the second showcase comes up, and hers was, it was a couch, a brand new living room set, and a home sauna, and a little a Chevy Spark, that little like tiny compact.
Right, Chevy Spark.
And, so she does her bid. They come back from commercial, and Drew goes up to her and reads her price and her bid and the actual prize value. And I think she was less than like $2,000 away.
Wow. Okay.
At that time, I'm like, I'm out. I lost. There's no way.
And how close was yours?
I was within $500.
Oh, nice.
Just nailed it.
All right. I have to ask this, Rob, because we've actually got to wrap up because we've got an interview coming up in just a moment. But did you end up taking the trips, and how were they great? Were they worth it, or was it just kind of a letdown?
No, they were cool. I did all 3 trips. You have 12 months from the time the show airs to take all the trips. So
you're taking all 3 trips in 1 year.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. And that was coming up to COVID. I was actually I was in the Bahamas in it was like January of 2020, like right before everything.
I'll tell you one thing, and this is the truth, Rob. In these cases, when they have these packages, these travel agencies, that's the one thing you can be guaranteed they're going to pull out all the stops on.
Yeah,
right on the trips.
Yeah,
awesome.
Wow. Well,
they were great. There was some cash equivalent that came out. So some of the trips had a rental car. The Bahamas had the poolside and beachside cabanas every day. And they take the actual cash value of that, and that goes right towards the taxes.
Okay.
And then when you show up, if you want, you just pay out of pocket for that.
All right.
Okay. All right.
That's great.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Rob, we got a break. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's really cool that you got that, and we appreciate you sharing. And Take care, man. And that's it. You know, we're talking about this obviously because Bob Barker passed away. Marissa put together a pricing game for us, but those calls were too good and we didn't have time to get to it.
Do you want to play with
maybe with Brandon? So we're gonna break. We're gonna have Brandon Marsh on from the Phils. Maybe he wants to play a pricing game.
Absolutely.
So we're obviously going to talk baseball too. So we'll come back in a moment with him. We'll be right. Probably no song. Probably come back right after
No
these
song.
commercials. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Hey, Lauer, play MMR.
Well, don't you have to kind of have like a bing bong prompt?
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, Lauer. Working.
Play Summer Breeze by Seals and Croft.
Summer Breeze.
So Lantern Entertainment and the Weinstein Company have come to terms on two major sticking points in their deal: a price and a close date. So they agreed on a final purchase of $21 million and expect to close on July 13th. A bankruptcy court hearing is scheduled for July 11th, and Lantern also agreed to make numerous payments to creditors to avoid a lengthy court battle.
All right, so and they're obviously going to not use the name Weinstein, right?
Oh, no, yeah, they're not. I don't think they're going to do that.
Charles Manson Productions.
So they're going to.
They figure it has a better reputation.
Hell yes. So they're getting closer to.
And then you can have Manson instead of the MGM Lion.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Just his face in that circle logo.
Right.
I love it.
This is one of these meetings here with the town where people can get up and speak their mind. And this young man got up and he had a take on legalizing prostitution.
So I propose this. The city allows for licensed masseurs to give genital massages if the masseur and the client both agree to it. We let someone get naked and have every other part of their body touched and rubbed by a massage therapist. Hell, we let proctologists spend their day men and sticking things. So if someone wants to yank a guy's crank, I say let him.
Oh, my God.
That really is as inspiring as FDR's speech on December 8th, 1941.
I love the last part of that. Hang on.
So if someone wants to yank a guy's crank, I say let him.
I say
And so I say to you, if someone wants to yank a man's crank, I say let them do it.
Okay.
And so by
is
this time,
legit?
well,
maybe.
You know what? I don't care. But he was definitely in front of this group. He was prepared. He seemed, and then he goes on. It's not just enough to state that's your intent or what you'd like to see happen. Yeah. You have to provide.
You got to back it up.
Examples.
Yeah, some context.
Some context to it. Yes.
Here's clip 2.
Picture this: a big old sweaty fat guy would get with your hand actually be that much worse than giving him a full body massage, getting up in there under the folds of fat, or being the proctologist sticking your finger.
Holy hell.
If a grown adult wants a job, another grown adult is willing to give one for money, then let them. That would truly be a happy ending for everyone.
Okay.
Oh my God.
The crowd loved it.
There is, I think, legitimacy to his claim, by the way. Are we going there or are we not going there?
I want to hear. What do you think?
I like the way you.
Casey started doing
up like a velociraptor all of a sudden.
His head was going left to right. Are we going here?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, dude, why is that illegal?
Rubbing tugs?
Yeah.
There is that. This is an age-old question about in fact, right before the Magna Carta came into being, there was the rub and tug.
I mean, there is a separation of church and state, right? So is morality a church thing?
Wow, this got a lot deeper than I thought. We were simply playing a goofball, but you want to work out whether prostitution or the sex trade should be legitimized.
Well, maybe we should put them in malls.
Let's talk about abortion. Let's lighten things up a bit.
How do we want to proceed into the next thing that we're going to do?
Well, I think we should. Where did Bill go? Oh, Bill, could I trouble you to come over here? I got to ask your opinion on the air about something. If you
Bill
could.
Weston, man about town.
He just
goes, oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Yes, well, the real reason we have rused you into this studio is to offer you our thanks and congratulations, and allow me to read the words of Kevin Gunn, if I may attempt.
You certainly may, sir.
So, we call him the man about town. We kid him about his kitchen cleaning, dashing wardrobe, and how he presides over meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. He's always open to ideas, but he often reminds us that, quote, this is not a democracy. Probably a good thing, too. Can you imagine if the Preston and Steve show, me, Jackie Bam Bam, Jackson, Brent, and the rest of the MMR staff were left unchecked to their own devices? Or if there was no one to say, let's think this through? Or have you considered what might happen if? Or the building might not go for that. Or... are you out of your freaking minds? You want to do what? But there it is. Bill Weston, the adult in the room. He is our leader through a business that is open 24/7, 365 days a year. He has to deal with the creative types, the executives, the sales staff, the accountants, the consultants, the concert promoters, the bands, their managers, countless live events, listener comments, office demolition and construction, and it is quite a job. He does all of this with a measured demeanor, self-effacing sense of humor, and a wealth of experience and wisdom. This year, he has also taken up the additional task of overseeing MMR's 50th anniversary celebration and has done so, might I say, with limitless energy and incredible savvy. So, in addition to being the man about town, Bill Weston is also the man about music, the man about programming, the man about administration, the man about meetings, the man about sometimes saying no. In short, the man who's all about this radio station. And that is why, and probably to his chagrin, we, his staff, award him the well-earned and long overdue recognition as the Rock of MMR.
Go. Thank you. Thank you. That's no idea. And yes, to my chagrin, because this was something that we came up with to award to or recognize people that don't get recognition.
The unsung.
Yeah, this happens just a couple of times a year. This award is handed out.
Right.
It is a giant rock on a platform, and it's got the MMR logo, and then it's got little spaces for whoever might be the rock at any given time.
Yeah, like the Stanley Cup, the names are added to the rock. Right. And now we add Bill's name to that.
That's... I'm touched, and I really appreciate the sentiments expressed in your missive. Who wrote that? Kevin?
Kevin wrote it. My
Kevin.
presentation, but entirely Kevin, who is a genius and brilliant and one of our great ones. He wrote the words.
Yes, my reward is I get to work with really talented people who are in much better positions to act
stupid
freely and
freely.
Well, the idea, the words that Kevin put in there, you want to do what? Which mostly applies to you guys.
Yes.
You want to light a refrigerator on fire in the parking lot and then add 7 cars to the mix and see if we can cause a giant mechanical explosion?
Yes. That's
I mean, consider what we have done in the last 15 years. To just imagine what he has said no to.
Oh yeah.
Well, then tolerating a pony coming in.
Yes.
Well, he didn't know about that one.
Yeah,
though.
Never.
Some things you beg for forgiveness.
You just don't apprise him of.
Okay.
I thank you very, very much. That's like I said, my reward. I was just came back from a long motorcycle trip out in California.
Right.
Actually went through Petaluma, Pierre, and I was telling these guys that I was hanging with, just regular guys, retired cops and plumbers and whatever. I said, I still love my job. I am blessed to be able to work at WMMR with people who care, and actually their first response to something that needs to be done isn't that's not my job. It's to, how can I help? Right. And it's that kind of atmosphere that we have, and we involve our listener because they're an integral part of that radio station. It's a great thing. So this is very cool. I appreciate whoever took the initiative.
A complete surprise, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had no idea. I was over in engineering looking at floor plans. And Chuck says, we need you in the studio. I said, they need more time off. What are they going to ask for, more vacation time? Preston's complaining about too many live reads. I'm like, oh my God, what is it?
93.3 WMMR.
All right, thanks, Kathy. So the Phils swept the Cards over the weekend, and not only that, they had a shutout yesterday. That is a nail in the coffin right there. Love that. And our next guest had a home run and 3 RBIs on Saturday. He's feeling pretty good. We spent some time with him at spring training and are stoked to have him on this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Marsh is joining us this morning. Hey, Brandon, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are we?
We are good. How are we over there? You got to be feeling great after this weekend, man.
Yeah, no, that was a good series for the boys. Holding down CBP. The fans came in and showed out. They played a tremendous impact, and we got the job done. We just got to carry it over into Anaheim.
Hey, I got to tell you, Brandon. So my father recently moved to the area. He's 85 years old. He's lived most of his life in Kentucky, and so he's acclimating to this area. And we were talking about the Phils the other day, and I'll do my best to give an impression. He goes, Press, which one is the one who looks like a caveman? And I'm like, Dad, that's Brandon Marsh. I go, he's a really cool guy. We had a chance to meet him, but he was admiring, and I quote, your hustle. He said that you've got some serious hustle about you. So just want to know, my dad approves.
Well, that's pretty cool, Tom. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Most definitely. Hey, you guys, listen, the thing that I love about this group of people, and this was with last season as well, is, and a winning record certainly helps, but you guys seem to have fun. And I think that is from a fan's perspective, I think is a key part, and it has to be for you as well, because if you guys are on top of doing your job, having fun has just got to be the bonus part of it.
Yeah, we all know there's a job at hand that we got to do and try to get done to the best of our ability. But I mean, there's 162 games, so we gotta you gotta find a way to throw some fun in there, or it's gonna be a long year. So we do our best, to act like kids as much as we can, but we know when it's time to lock it in, we got to lock it in and do a job. So it's a good mix. We got a good mix of some really, really good veteran guys, some young guys, and guys in between. And it's been a great mix, and we just got to keep this thing going.
It's funny you mentioned the amount of games, and it's something that always just blows my mind. Obviously you take the football cycle, and you're dealing with a dramatically reduced amount of games, but I assume that you have to fight that inclination to say, to treat occasionally a game like, this doesn't matter, this isn't, part of the journey, so to speak, that every one of those 160 plus games, it matters. Was that something that came naturally to you, or is it hard to sometimes keep that performance and energy and enthusiasm for each one of those games up all the time?
So there's no other option,
Yeah.
We show up without the fire and all the energy and that want to. We're not gonna get the results that we want. So,
right.
We know what we got to do. We got to put all the feelings off the field, all the hurts, the early mornings, the late nights, the quick turnarounds. We got to put all that to the side and put all that away and just go out there and just do a job.
Yeah, it's a Herculean feat to do that. I think I'd be easily distracted.
I'd be lying if I said it's if I didn't get distracted. It's hard not to. We're human. So, but it's I feel like those teams that lock it in and stay locked are the ones that are going to ride it out to the end. So we just got to keep doing our best and just playing the course.
Yeah, and you guys have had a pretty successful July and August, and this weekend was a lot of fun. I got to ask you, Brandon, about last weekend up in Williamsport, because I really enjoyed watching that broadcast. I love watching all the games, but to see you guys have as much fun as you had in Williamsport, going to the Little League game and then having your own game in their minor league park. What was that like for you as a player? What was it like being out there with the Little Leaguers? Because it seemed like you were having a lot of conversations with a lot of kids, and that was awesome.
Yeah, no, that was I was blessed enough to be able to play in that game in 2021 with the Angels. But that one wasn't my first time, but that one was definitely a lot. I felt like it was a lot more people than the last time I was there. So it was incredible to see those kids' faces when they saw us and the Nationals team, and it just brought me back a bunch of weekend memories with all my buddies growing up that I played with. All the frog togs, the water coolers, all that stuff. So it was super cool to see, and they were playing some good baseball too. I saw like a 5-4 game with only like one error. So it was some incredible baseball too.
I would consider that. So you're a kid, that's an epiphany moment. That can set you from, oh, I'm enjoying this to this might be my career. Did you have somebody you encountered, a player that was that pivotal moment where you love the game, but that locked it in for you? I want to be that guy.
Probably my junior year when I finally grew.
Yeah.
I didn't really know there was much of a future for baseball until I finally grew into my body. And but no, I mean I wouldn't say there was really like a really big moment. I just think I always loved the game. I love sports. I love the thought of trying to be the best athlete that I could possibly be. But
right.
There were a lot of things holding me back growing up. So it was it took some time for me, but we finally blossomed, and now we're here. So
nice. Hey, Brandon, I want to ask you and Bryson Stott are the guys who've been dumping things on players when they get spotlighted at the end during an interview. Who makes the decision on what you're going to dump, and is it calculated? Is it bespoke for each person? How do you come up with what you're going to throw on them?
Being completely honest with you guys, it is all on the spot. I usually Stott's more creative than I am. I just usually get like one little random piece of food object I can see just in a little bin in the dugout. And Stott loads his water cups up with gum,
jeez,
and a bunch of other stuff. Honestly, I don't even know. I stopped looking, but
maybe that's for the better.
Listen, I love that stuff. I told my kids, I'm like, that you don't see this anymore, but a standard baseball prank used to be the hot foot. Yeah. Now that was more back in like the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. I don't think you can get away with that anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if we can get away with that. People are, pretty alert, but you got to be sneaky with the water. You can't let them hear the cleats hit the dirt beneath you. You got to tiptoe.
Well, you can do the old hide their insulin prank. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Brandon, for 20 plus years now, dating back to the vet, there have been some fantastic fan groups going to Phillies games. The Duck Pond, the Wolf Pack. One of my personal favorites was there was a pitcher named Robert Person, and there was just one guy who showed up. It was Person's Person. I thought that was great. But you have your own, and I love Marsh's Marshmallows. I love spotting him in the crowd. I saw him at a pregame event with Shane Victorino a few months ago. It's got to be awesome to have your own fan group dedicated to you, man. It's pretty incredible.
Are you kidding? It's all. I love it. It was. I forget what game it was, and I look up in the top right where Jeans used to be.
Jeans.
And I was looking up there, and I see a bunch of marshmallow heads, and I'm like, hold on. Put two and two together. I kind of squinted, saw the sign a little bit more, and then that was a cool moment. I was like, okay, now we just got to keep going. We got to grow the section.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just ask you: are you a fan of marshmallows?
Depends on marshmallow, the food, or
the food.
The food.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right. I just remember. I'd say, well, what if your big secret is that you despise them, but you like them, so that's good.
No, yeah, no. I'll tear up some marshmallows.
All right. Well, you're eating marshmallows right now.
Hey, your shot on Saturday night was it was an absolute bomb. I don't know if you can recall or not, but did you even feel? Was it one of those hits where you barely even feel the bat hit the ball?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have many pull side homers, but when I do, it's that feeling where you don't feel it, and you're like, okay, I can start jogging a little bit. But I mean, I don't know. I got put into I laid off the high heaters and got put into a decent hitters count. Runners on first and second. We already had some runs up on the board. I know he didn't want to walk me, so I was like, I'm just going to take my shot. And he came with it, and I just tried to put my best swing on it.
Damn, man. So when you guys are up to bat, I mean, I assume that you guys have a lot of homework that you guys do, post game, pre-game, and stuff like that. But in between pitches, how much is your mind racing? Going, okay, that was just a four-seamer. Like, so is he gonna, should I, you know what I mean? Like, are you always expecting a certain pitch when you're lined up?
I mean, I'd be lying to you if I said there's not a little bit of my mind that strays off. It's like, okay, well, he just threw me that high heater. A lot of guys throw their breaker ball, their dumper off of the high heater because it's off the same plane. Little things like that go through my mind for sure. But these guys are so good, man. I got to stay on the heater,
right?
Hey,
and react to the off speed and just ride it out.
I want to ask about, because there was the series before the Cardinals, I believe, where they had they exhausted their bullpen, so they had positional players pitching. And I mean, I don't remember who it was, but he was throwing 40 mile per hour. Well, so is there like an unwritten rule to not go off on those guys, to not just tee off?
On the position players?
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's at the end of the day when a position player comes in, it's like usually the game's already pretty much over.
Yeah.
So it's all just love and respect. If we get ahead, we'll still signal to the dugout, give a little half celebration, half celly. But I mean, as a hitter, it's honestly sometimes kind of a lot more tough to hit those 40 mile an hour.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
your body and eyes and all the quick twitch muscle groups, they're all ready to go, and then you have to sit there and hold that launch position for so long.
Right.
It's pretty tough. But I feel like as a hitter, it's you still want to try to get your knock,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's your average. Like, I'm so sorry that the other team is struggling so much that they had to put a second baseman in a pitcher, but you are also like, you have contracts, you have an average that you need to like worry about. So
for sure. The way I look at it is whoever's whatever team's hitting against the position player, I mean, they earned it, so you earn that.
It's true. It's true.
Extra knock if you stay back on it.
Brandon, with the Angels coming in town, your former team, when you were on the Angels, obviously two of the greatest players on the planet with Shohei and Trout, and I know Trout's out and not playing in Philly this weekend, but when you were on the Angels, did you get tired of reporters asking you about Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani?
No, man, those you can't get tired of people asking about players like that. That make a great example of the game on and off the field. So they're those two guys, and they got some dudes over there. You go through their lineup. I know they got some guys that are hurt, but you go through their lineup, and it's a pretty cool lineup to look at. If you're a fan of baseball, but yeah, I mean, I was truly blessed to be able to be on the same field as those guys. I think it was a part of my journey I was supposed to go through in order to get here. So it was I was truly blessed to be able to step on the battlefield with those guys.
Nice. Hey, going back to you guys having fun off the field or outside of the game, I think it was Jamie Apodi had posted something of you guys chipping golf balls from, I don't know if you were chipping them or how far you were hitting them from home plate. Was this yesterday and this has to do with fantasy football or something like that? Do you know about this?
Yeah. No, it was just a little draft order. We were trying to figure out a unique and fun way for all of us to be involved, and instead of just drawing a number out of a hat.
I love that.
We got a lot of guys that enjoy golf on the team. We had a couple other options in order to figure out our picking order, but this was decided on the final one. And we all had some pretty decent shots. I thought I went first.
Yeah,
and I was about pin high, about 30-40 feet to the left, which is good for me.
Yeah.
What pick did you get, and what pick did you end up with?
So I ended up middle of the pack, but that's because some dudes ended up picking 12 and 11 before I was up there. So I got middle of the pack. It's going to be good. We're going to grind it out. And, get picks, but a lot of good shots were made that day, and I was very surprised.
So do you play golf often?
I play a lot more now than I ever have, but not enough.
Okay. All right. I shot a 75 yesterday. I think I could play with you sometime.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. That's too low for me.
Hey, listen, I wanted to ask a really off-the-wall question, and if you don't want to do this, this is fine. But did you hear that Bob Barker had passed away?
I did see that, yes.
Were you a fan of The Price is Right at all?
So I never really watched it at all. If I saw it on YouTube, I would see it. You know what I mean? Or just like something if it popped up on TV. But no, I never. Just to be honest, never went out of my way, and I never saw it.
See, it's funny because that makes sense now. He's wildly successful, and we watched The Price is Right and hung out at home.
Yeah, we didn't go to
He
school.
actually went to do this.
Yeah. But well, listen, would you like to play a pricing game with us from The Price is Right?
If it's easy, you know, it's early,
easy.
So
Don't worry,
it's easy. We're just gonna do essentially, it's like contestants row.
That's it. Yeah.
So at the beginning they would throw out a price, and you would have to throw out
an
item, and you would have to bid on it, and whoever gets closest without going over is deemed the winner, and you can play against us.
Okay.
All right.
All right. You ready to try this out, guys?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right. So item number one, and we'll go through everyone. And should we let Brandon go last? You think?
Yeah, so you can hear what we're doing.
Yeah, so you can hear what we're doing. Okay, so first item up for bids is, and I think this is apropos for baseball, the Ballpark Beef Hot Dogs, original length, 8 count. God. Let's go to our contestants and see how they price it. We'll start with Nick. Nick, what do you want to give that?
$2.99.
$2.99. All right. Casey, what is your price?
I'm going to go $5.99.
$5.99. And Kathy, how about you?
I'm going to go $6.49.
$6.49. I will say, I'm going to say $4.25. And Steve, how about yours?
$4.49.
$4.49. All right, Brandon. What do you think Ballpark Beef Hot Dogs, the original length 8 count, would cost?
My first answer that came to my head was $4.42.
All right, $4.42. Now, see, I don't even know what the actual retail price is. I have the little sticker covering it.
All right.
So, and the actual retail price is $4.49. Steve Morrison got it exactly.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
That's $100.
But actually, Brandon came in second on that. You would have had that. That's damn close.
Wow.
If not for Steve Morrison, Brandon would be going to the for the
that's
prize
right.
round.
Brandon, we got it. You and me, man. We got it.
Are these Acme prices?
These are Acme prices,
Okay.
yes, by the way.
All right,
Okay,
all
let's
right.
do another one. That was pretty damn close. All right, so far 1 point to Steve. All right, next item up for bids is the Snuggle Blue Sparkle Fabric Softener Dry Sheets, 80 count. We'll start with Kathy this time. Kathy,
Oh,
what's your
dryer
opening
sheets.
bid?
I'm going to go with $7.49.
$7.49. And Steve, what is your price?
$6.50.
All right, Steve says $6.50. Casey?
$4.99.
$4.99. I'm going to say that they are $8.15. And Nick, how about you?
$5 even.
5 even. How about you?
a-hole.
How about you, Brandon?
Oh, this is, I had an answer, but then your guys' answers were a little off than mine, so I'm going to...
Well, go with your gut.
All right, $2.99.
Okay.
$2.99. All right, the average retail price of Snuggle Blue Sparkle Fabric Softeners is...
Oh, you said Snuggle?
Yeah.
See?
It makes a
You threw him
difference.
off.
It makes a difference.
It does.
I missed that info.
The actual retail price is $3.99.
Oh, God.
Brandon Marsh gets a point.
Told you, go with your gut instinct. Always go with your first.
I have to start shopping at Acme.
The rest of us
Or-
went over.
Yeah.
Shop with Brandon.
All right,
Yeah.
so Brandon's up. Steve and Brandon are tied at 1. All right, next item up for bids is the Signature Select Refresh Spring Water.
Ooh.
A case, 24 count of 16.9 fluid ounce bottles. Would cost how much? Let's go to Nick and see.
This is a 24 count?
16.
24 count of 16 ounces.
16 ounces. I'm going to go $4.99.
$4.99. I'm going to mix it up here. Let's let Brandon jump in now so he can get it.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Brandon, what do you think? The Signature Selected Freshwater 24 count.
Yeah, it's going to be about 520.
520, he says. All right, Casey, how about you?
I'm going $2.49.
$2.49. And Kathy?
$4.49.
All right, $4.49. And Steve, how about you?
I'm going to jump it up higher. I'm going to do $6.26.
$6.26. And what's our lowest bid here?
$2.49.
$2.40. It's definitely not that. I'm going to say $6.27.
You son of a bitch.
The actual retail price is $3.99, and that means our winner is Casey! $2.49. Not bad.
Hey, who's the one who nailed it right on the cost?
You did.
Oh, yeah!
That's right. All right, so far it's Casey, Steve, and Brandon who are tied. All right, next up, item up for bids. Lucerne eggs, large, a 30 count. So these are eggs. It's a 30 count of eggs.
Okay.
All right.
I have no idea what.
Let's go.
I'm
with,
more pork bellies.
Let's go with. Let's let Brandon jump in. And get the first bid. All right.
Oh, eggs. Can you give me the brand again?
It's called Lucerne. Lucerne.
This is not the Snuggles brand.
And this is a 30 count. So it's more than a couple dozen
of eggs.
Yep.
30 of eggs.
Correct.
God. Okay, let's go. Let's go with a little $7.99 or $8. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
$7.99. All right, Nick. How about you?
Might be way off.
I'm gonna go $2.79.
$2.79. Wow. I'm gonna go with $6.49. Casey, how about you?
All right. Man, I just got off the phone with my egg broker, and I'm gonna go $7 even.
$7 even. All right, and Steve?
$6.99.
$6.99. And Kathy?
What was Brandon's pick?
$7.99. $7.99, and that is the highest bid so far.
Come on now.
I'm going to go $7.49.
$7.49. All right, and the actual retail price of the eggs is $5.99, and that means
That is
Nick is the winner at $2.79.
I got one.
Nobody has doubled up on points yet.
That was really hard because eggs for a little while there were going through the roof.
Yes, they were.
And then they came back down.
Yep. All
and
right.
that's 30 and not 12. And so hard.
What to do? What to do? All right, up next, I think something that we could all relate to. We've all had at one time or another. Kraft Original Macaroni and Cheese.
Yeah.
A dinner box, but it's a 5 count.
5 count.
Oh, okay.
Of the
5 count.
Kraft Original Macaroni and Cheese 5 count. Let's start with Kathy for your bid, Kath.
$4.99.
$4.99. All right, Casey, how about you?
Oh, man. All right. So wait, Kathy said $4.99.
Yep.
I'm going to say $7.99.
$7.99. All right, let's go to Brandon. Brandon Marsh, what do you think?
520.
20.
No, he said 520.
Oh, 520.
Yeah.
I like the inflection.
Yeah.
I am gonna say I'm gonna bid next. I'm gonna say it's $7 even. And Steve, what do you think?
$5.25.
$5.25. Nick, what's yours?
Bob, I'm going to go with $1 on this one.
$1. All right.
Nick.
All
The
right.
actual, he thinks we've all overbid.
No way.
Actual retail price is $6.49, and that means our winner is who didn't go over here?
Steve Morrison.
Steve Morrison. What did Steve bid?
$5.25.
He did $5.25. It would have been Brandon Marsh, but Steve
That's
was
right.
smart.
Steve got the point. So he screwed Brandon Marsh.
Sorry, man.
All right, we just have a couple more items here. So far, Steve's got 2. He's in the lead. But Casey,
A shopping machine.
Nick, and Brandon are still on the hunt. Okay, how about this product? Duncan Hines Dolly Parton's Buttermilk Biscuits.
That's Dolly Parton brand.
That is correct. It's Duncan Hines brand, but
Yeah.
it's Dolly Parton
Signature
recipe.
And she has large breasts.
It's a 16-ounce box. And Brandon, we'll start with you. What do you think that's worth?
Okay. You said how many ounces?
16 ounces. I'm not sure exactly how many biscuits you can make with
I
that.
love that Brandon's actually thinking this through.
I know.
That's a good number. That's a good
Competitive.
number. We'll say, I don't know, $9.99.
$9.99
For cake mix.
All right, I'm gonna go
biscuit
next. I'm gonna say that it's $4.99. Casey, how about you?
The name.
I'm going $2.99.
$2.99.
Brandon's saying because of the name, it jacks the price up.
Probably. Steve, what's your bid?
$4.48.
$4.48. And Nick, how about you?
I'm going to go $5.69.
$5.69. And Kathy?
$3.99.
$3.99.
Gosh, this isn't looking good.
All right. Actual retail price, Duncan Hines Dolly Parton buttermilk mix is $3.49. That means Casey gets a point. 2 for Steve, 2 for Casey.
$3.49?
$3.49.
Wow.
Yeah. I know.
But, you would figure with the Dolly Parton approval,
the jugs.
jack it up to $20.
Yeah. All right. Bob Barker
jugs
passed
alone.
away. That's why we're playing the. That's why we're playing the Price is Right with Brandon Marsh.
How fortunate for him that he didn't have to hear this.
All right. Here's our next item up for bids: Pepperidge Farm Goldfish Mix.
Ooh, what size?
Extra cheddar plus pretzel crackers together, 6.6 ounce bag of that.
6.6. Okay.
Yep. All right, Nick. Why don't we open the bidding with you?
$2.99.
All right, $2.99. And Casey, you?
$3.99.
$3.99. I thought you were gonna say $3.
Wait, mix in that it's 3 bags?
No, it's pretzels and goldfish mixed together.
In one, okay.
In one bag, yes, correct. All right, well, Kathy, why don't you bid?
$4.99.
All right, she says $4.99. I will bid, I'm going to say $3.40. Steve, how about you?
$4.29.
All right, Steve says $4.29. Sorry, I'm running out of room here. $4.29. And Brandon Marsh, what do you think the bid is?
I had $3.19 for some reason in my
Go with
head.
it.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah.
$3.19. The actual retail price of the Pepperidge Farm Goldfish Mix is, oh man, it's $3 even. We've all overbid. No, wait.
No.
Nick,
$2.99.
Casey, you should have been $3.
Yeah.
But so how far over was Brandon?
He was over.
He was over.
And I was $2.99. I was a cent off.
He was 19 cents over. Brandon.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. We can do one
That's
more. I
legit.
think.
All right, one more.
All right. All right, here we go. Something we're all familiar with. Signature Care bathroom tissue, premiumly soft double roll, 2-ply, a 12 count. So
Feels
essentially
so good in your butthole.
12 count of Signature Care bathroom tissue. Brandon, I'll let you choose when you want to go since you're our guest today. You want to go near the beginning or near the end of this?
I'll start it off. You said double ply, right?
Yeah, 2-ply. Yep.
All right. 12 count?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What was the brand again?
It's called Signature Care bathroom tissue.
It's their home brand.
Yep. It's good stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna go with for a 12 count.
Yep.
I mean, I could be way off here too, but let's go with $6.49.
$6.49. All right, Casey, you're up next.
All right, I'm going with Brandon. Do you know why I'm going with $2.89?
No.
That's your batting average right now, bro. That's a good batting average, Brandon.
I hope you're right with this answer then.
All right, Kathy.
Wait, tell me what were the bids so far?
All right, so we had Brandon at $6.49 and Casey at $2.89.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna go $7.49.
$7.49. All right, Steve.
$7.29.
All right, Steve says $7.29. I will say, I'm going to say $9. I'm going over.
It's the signature brand.
All right, and Nick, you're last.
I'm going to go $5.24.
$5.24. All right, the actual retail price. Actual retail price is $6.99, and that means
that's
Brandon Marsh.
Go, Brandon.
We're all in the 2 club.
Wow. Yeah, only Casey, Steve, Nick, and Brandon all have 2 points.
But only one of us plays in Major League Baseball. So
all right, no. Here's what we'll do.
Okay,
just
do one more.
Just the 5 of you.
Okay,
get to go, and this will determine who our winner is. So somebody will absolutely win after this. Hang on, I got to rewrite this. Okay, so we have Steve, Nick, Casey and Brandon, and I will let me pick a good item here that you guys might have a shot at getting it correct.
How about Dolly Parton brand motor oil?
No. All right, how about this? Jimmy Dean Heat and Serve sausage patties.
Casey's going to nail this.
26 in this particular
26?
package. Yeah, so it weighs out to 23.9 ounces. All right, so Jimmy Dean Heat and Serve sausage patties, original 26 count, 23.9 ounces. And Brandon's our guest. Do you want to go first or last, Brandon, or somewhere in the middle?
I'll start it off, but I need a quick second to think about this.
Okay, certainly. Take your time.
Understood.
So 26 count, 23 ounce.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess they weigh a less than an ounce each.
Okay, so little small patties. You know what? Let's go with, you said 26 of them. Let's go. Dang, I'm gonna take a little leap here and just let's go $11.99.
$11.99. Wow. Okay, Casey, we'll go to you next.
For some reason, this is a high one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wanted to go last. $9.99.
$9.99. All right, Nick.
Yeah, I think because meat is involved, it's going to be a higher priced item. So I'm going to go $8.49.
$8.49. Steve, I know what you're going to do. No?
No.
Oh.
I would love to do that. I'm going to go $6.99.
$6.99. See, I would have bid $1.
Yeah.
It takes everything underneath, and you don't have to worry about going over. The actual retail price, Jimmy Dean Heat and Serve sausage patties, original 26 count, is, oh my God.
What?
It's $6.99. That's exactly what Steve said.
Wow, Steve.
Wow.
2 bids exactly right.
Steve Morrison is our winner.
Thank you.
With the Price is Right game and Brandon Marsh, our special guest. Wow, I'm blown away. But I'm impressed, Brandon, that you got a couple of points in there, man.
You know your stuff.
Don't count the kid out.
Do you do the majority of shopping?
No, I do not.
I had a feeling.
Oh, nice, man. Hey, by the way, how is, real quick, going back to a more serious note, you had that knee contusion. Obviously, you're back and ready to go, but are you feeling 100% at this point?
Yeah, it was
awesome.
Yeah, it was a little scary moment just for me, just because I felt my whole knee felt like it dang shattered. But it was just a little scary moment. I hit a hard part underneath the padding under the wall, going for a ball, and I mean, it is what it is. If I could run it back again, I'd do the same thing. So
yeah.
It's recovered well. It took a couple extra days than I wanted to, but it was a smart thing to sit out those extra 2 days and to make sure we were at a full 100% ready to go.
Yeah. Did you ever see Aaron Rowan's face after he ran into that same wall with this was pre-padding?
Yeah, no, that's a dog right there.
Yeah.
Man, you guys definitely take your lumps from time to time. So, but glad everything worked out all right. Listen, man, we just thanks for coming on with us. We just we had such a great time meeting you at spring training, and we try not to bug people while they're working, and they've got things on their mind. But
we felt you needed to go shopping.
Yeah, but today we wanted you to play Price is Right games.
No.
Brandon,
well worth your time.
You guys having me.
I just want to let you know, just peek behind the curtain. I think you might be Preston's favorite player that he has that has been on the Phillies in a really, really long time.
Well, that's awesome.
So
man.
please let him take you golfing.
What did you say?
Please let him take you golfing when your season's over.
Hey, but who's shooting 75?
That's me. That's Preston.
Gosh, I'll caddy for you. Then.
No. Here's what you do. You both go to Acme and go shopping. That's where you dominate.
Totally. Yeah.
and then throw it in all the regular customers' face that we know all the prices.
Nice. All right, Brandon, thanks a bunch, man. Go get them. It's great to talk to you, and we'll chat another time, okay?
Good hearing from you guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Let's hear it for Brandon Marsh, guys.
What a great guy, man.
And apropos that we play center field. Being a center fielder, of course.
Nice guy.
Such a cool guy. Most definitely. All right. I think that we ought to take ourselves a break because we do indeed have some more bizarre file stories to share. So we'll do that and return in just a moment if you hang out with us.
and Steve.
On 93.3 WMMR.
I think the nature of the job drives people over the edge. And for some reason, it has not done so with you. You've retained this balance that even if you're pissed at us, you present it in a nice way, and you don't call someone while they're on the air and say you should never have done that. You wait until they're off, and then you take them in and have them strapped down. And you truly you have this balance and this calmness that is in a frantic group of madmen and women that we are. You really are a father figure that doles out a lollipop when needed and sends you to your room when needed, but does so in this balanced, calm, and reasonable and nice fashion.
Thank you for saying that, Pierre.
There's really something extraordinary about it.
They say in teacher, sometimes you teach what you cannot do.
Right.
You guys do something that I wish I could do. I started out as a disc jockey and was pretty mediocre at it, So I respect and appreciate what everybody does and the talents in this room, on air, and also in our programming and promotions department. I appreciate that. And
you get a parking spot now, too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It comes with a parking spot.
And one other thing, he's worked so hard on this 50th anniversary.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
He's pulled out, he's found archive selections I didn't even know we had, and I've been here for a long time. I mean, he found America singing A Horse with No Name. He found...
We had to steal that back from the guy who stole the tapes from us.
Really?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I mean, he's found so many cool things and gotten, really worked the Foo Fighters thing and the Bon Jovi thing for these special 50th parties that we've had, and U2 and all these other things. And he's just, on this 50th alone, he's really
And the fact that he forged on even after learning that it's the 49th.
Right, right, yeah.
Counted.
Yeah.
I mean, almost single-handedly ruined the Bon Jovi concert. I mean, I don't know anybody else that could do that.
That gave us a great story, though, for on air.
If you hadn't heard, we did a group photo right before the band took the stage, and they all have in-ear monitors and these little, what look like Walkman kind of thing attached to them, power pack.
I was wearing this jacket, by the way, and it got hooked on the button on my coat, and it yanked it out of his ears, and he gave me the dirtiest look.
They were seconds. I mean,
Wasn't Bill's fault.
No, it was nobody's fault. But they were they were running on the stage, and they stopped to do a group photo. And then in one of those bizarre Spinal Tap, truly moments, John's wire that goes from his ear to this little backpack that they all have in their pockets caught on Bill's coat.
Well, that's what you get for wearing a blazer to a rock concert.
I know. That really was my fault. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right.
All right.
Thank you all. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Pierre.
Bill Weston, the rock of MMR and Man About Town.
He is the S.
Yep, absolutely. The ESPYs are stupid, but I didn't see it. Marissa, you watched it. How did Danica Patrick look? She was hosting it, right?
She looked good. You know who looked really good?
Pretty much all I'm concerned about. What?
Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale
Of course
came
she
out.
would look great.
Why was she there?
Yeah. Is she a wife of someone?
She presented, I don't know if she's promoting something maybe, but she presented Best Championship, I think, which went to like
Best
the Astros.
Championship. Best Championship. That's a category.
Steve and I got up close and personal to Kate Beckinsale when we were in Hawaii. She was promoting the movie Pearl Harbor, and she was at that time, Steve. I remember us going, "This is the most beautiful human being that I've ever been in close proximity
You and I
to."
were like, like in Zoolander. We could not understand what is this thing? What is?
We're just hitting things.
I mean, it's like no human looks like that. And then you have the other end of the scale, two sloths like us.
Oh my God. Very good, buddy. She comes walking closer. We just start bouncing up and down a little bit.
It's okay. It's okay. Here's a gummy bear.
Then he calmed down a little bit. Our next guest is excited to be here. He was just talking about the Eagles' Super Bowl victory because last time he was here, Bo Allen was in studio.
That's right.
And they got to hang out together.
Bo Allen was like ecstatic.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pauly Shore is here with us.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
It was like Bradley Cooper against Mark Wahlberg, right? Is that what the vibe was?
Exactly. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hilarious, right?
It truly was. Yeah.
It was great.
And Mark,
I was so happy for you. First of all, congratulations. And I'm not just saying that. I love sports. I'm obsessed with sports. So I was really into it, and I was so happy. I like that pass that he did.
Yeah,
the side pass.
Oh, the Philly.
Right in their face, dude.
No,
that was like straight up right in your face.
Yeah, they pulled out a trick play there.
Yeah, it
and
was
freaked
right in
everybody
their face. Belichick's like, what? He starts sweating, and then the big Samoan guy threw his headphones on. This is crap. What's going on here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In LA, because here the sports celebrities they're the biggest celebrities.
Yeah.
It's like the sports guys, and then like your news anchors and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, who's bigger out there?
It's funny. I was at there's an exclusive club called the Soho House.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of the Soho?
I have heard of it, yeah.
So they're like in LA, New York. I was there and I saw, this was just 2 weeks ago, I saw Carmelo Anthony hanging out with Russell Westbrook. And they were just sitting there and I freaked out. And, I'm like, I love it.
Do they notice you? I mean, because you is there any?
Yeah, they're like, man, keep that guy away from me. It's scary. Man, that dude is scary. Keep him away from me. No, they all grew up with me.
Yeah, that's because you're
there's like a connection there.
Your life actually from the MTV days and from the movies and from the access that you had. You talk about access and about celebrities and seeing celebrities and living out there in LA and on the Strip. And the Playboy Mansion you were a regular at. I mean, you have got the kind of stories.
I forgot about that part. That was the part that you carve out, those 7 years. You just carve them out.
What was that like in the heyday?
I just say the word heaven. I was very fortunate, very lucky, very blessed. My mom and dad gave me the most amazing life in the world.
Yeah.
And I grew up, right on the Sunset Strip back in the heyday.
I mean, that had to be amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I saw every genre, every band. From Iggy Pop to the Pointer Sisters to, X.
You seem a little, I don't know if jaded is the right word, but you're used to growing up with TV comedians,
No, I'm
actors.
a fan just like you guys are fans of people. I mean, I'm obsessed with Sean Penn. De Niro, all the great actors, Pacino, all these guys.
Celebrities who sort of blow that off or try to act as if that's not a thing.
If you saw me what people don't know, like I'm just a normal guy, dude. You know what I mean? I just go home, I make my oatmeal. You know what I mean?
Make your oatmeal.
I smoke a little weed. It's California. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you can't say that here. Sorry.
No, of course you can.
You can.
It's legal now.
It's medical.
Pulled off the radio. Sorry.
No, we're good medically.
It's legal.
Here.
My friends in New York are hilarious. They come out to LA. My friend Tony, they just pack up a whole bunch of stuff because you can go. You don't need a medical thing. Yeah. You can go and just
get it. You were in Moscow and Jerusalem. Spent some time there recently.
Yeah, it was my summer vacation.
First time?
Yeah, my first time ever.
I've always wanted to go. Always wanted to go to
whereas
both.
the Jews say Israel. But it was weird going there because it was basically every dude that I saw, I'm like looking at myself.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm Jewish. You know what I mean? These are my roots. So it's kind of like just going back to, I don't want to say weird things.
Say weird things.
No.
Because I've always wanted to go to Israel. It looks fantastic.
It's great. It's actually, it's not what people think it is as far as like being dangerous. You know what I mean? It's very... But, I mean, the geography of it is very interesting. It's Israel, and then you got all these kind of Arab countries surrounding it.
Yeah.
Heavily, though.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of Arabs that live in Israel that are very pissed off and bitter, it's hilarious to me, too.
Yeah.
Because they're basically... So, do you know what the name of the Jewish money is?
Not off
It's called shekels.
Oh,
How
sure.
hilarious is that?
Okay.
Right, I mean, that's so Jewy just to begin. Hey, can I get some shekels? It's hilarious. But imagine the Arabs having to pay shekels. They don't, give me your shekels. You know what I mean? Because they're on their land. Like in the Arabs people's minds, that's their land. The Jews stole their land.
Yeah.
It's all about real estate over there and religion and stuff like that. That's the big kind of, thing where people are fighting all the time.
But outside of that, it's known for incredible resort.
Yeah, it's kind of like Miami, or Brazil. I hadn't been to Rio or anything but like that, but Miami where people are on the beach and it's like that's Tel Aviv, but then you drive about 40 minutes and you go to Jerusalem, which is the holy city, which is amazing, which is the center of the universe. And I didn't even know this, but this is where Jesus Christ was crucified. I didn't know that. I thought I'm Jesus Christ. I'm not thinking he's Jewish and in Jerusalem, and you know what I mean. I'm just like most people. Like, sir, did you know that?
The Rick and Morty shirt.
Come here. Did you know Jesus was crucified in Jerusalem? You didn't? Where did you think Jesus was crucified? Come here.
I honestly had no idea.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, go sit back down. Sorry about him.
Because it's the Bible. It's the Torah part too.
I pretty much went there for my mom. I mean, that's why I went. My mom passed away. I was really close with her, and I wanted to just kind of like bring her to Jerusalem, and I wanted to be with her in Jerusalem because both my parents are Jewish, and they never made it.
No kidding.
They never made it to Israel. There's a lot of people that are Jewish that don't.
Did you plant a tree in her name? Well, that's kind of an honor. That
I didn't know that. I screwed that up. Sorry.
You can go back.
I'll definitely be back to Jerusalem.
Besides that, and besides all the other stuff that's going on with you're busy. You have your podcast. You have all these other things that you're involved with.
Yeah.
And to the point of the documentary, is there in fact a documentary in the works, or is that just hearsay?
No, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's almost like it's got to be presented at the right time. It's kind of like my agents have to present it to Netflix and Showtime and HBO at the right time.
You're a pop culture all-in-one. I mean, you were at the center of a lot of what, like before a lot of the, I was reading an interview with you and you talked about running into Will Ferrell at some event. And he sort of gave you a lot of credit. Tell me what he told you.
Yeah, it was a Funny or Die event. It was like the birthday of Funny or Die, which is his website, which I do a lot of stuff with them. And
Adam McKay, too.
Yeah, and I came up to him, and he came up to me. It was just like, and he started mimicking me, and he started kind of like saying that I started it, and, kind of, you know what I mean?
So he was a fan.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah, he was a fan, yeah.
Who's blown your mind recently about, again, like a Will Ferrell, or somebody just out of the blue, or somebody that you thought you weren't even on their radar came up to you and was a fan?
Oh, man. I don't know, dude. It's too early for that stuff. I can't think. I like watching Donald Trump.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just because I can't believe it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything that happens in this, it's like it is a reality show.
Yeah. We were talking the other day about there are so many reality shows that I just can't stand and that people watch that they hate, but they still watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't know why people do that. My first inclination is to go, let's put me in a bad spot. Let me just change the channel.
Yeah.
Let me turn it off.
Yeah. You watch it in doses, and the whole Omarosa thing is hilarious. Like she was taping people. I'm going to tape this. I think I'm going to tape this conversation. It's hilarious.
Did you ever run into her? Because you've done your share of reality
but I knew
stuff.
Donald Trump from back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, because he was always around the girls.
He was at the mansion occasionally, right? Yeah.
And also Hawaiian Tropic down at spring break.
Right.
with Ron Rice. Hilarious. Vince Neil. It was Vince Neil. It was Jim Kelly. It was OJ.
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean? It was
the stories.
Fabio.
Oh, my God.
It was the best.
That's amazing.
Dude, I want to see this documentary.
It was the best.
We had Fabio in here. He was awesome.
He was cool.
He was
He's
awesome.
cool, right?
He was,
Yeah.
Because Fabio understands Fabio. He gets it.
Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah.
Jim Kelly, OJ,
amazing,
and our current president,
and
you,
and Fabio,
and
Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore.
They didn't like me because I was getting all the babes. They're like, "Get that guy out of here, spatch, bro, spatch."
I remember watching those and seeing you, and you were hosting contests and all that stuff, and I'm like, this guy's just swimming in it, just swimming in it.
That's how it was.
I know.
Back then.
Back then.
That's how it was.
What's happening now?
Now I'm just chilling, bro. I'm watching CNN,
Once you've starred in a movie that's nominated for an Oscar, it's safe to say that you're famous, right?
Yeah.
Well, Saoirse Ronan, who is 24 years old, still doesn't feel famous, though. Yeah, she's adorable.
Yeah.
I love her and the accent.
It's wonderful.
She's just thinking.
It's at a garden party, asking inappropriate questions to Meghan Markle.
I love how they drop the G.
Yeah.
On ing words. Ronan continued saying she avoided reading about her. So she
I
said,
was farting.
What was that sound? Farting.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Dermatology Associates of Plymouth Meeting, recruiting for an eczema study to test a topical medication. Ages 2 and older can register. Compensation may be available for time and travel. Plymouth Meeting Dermatology.com. All right, listen to these chuckleheads. 2 Arkansas men face charges after allegedly shooting each other during a night of drinking while each man tried on a bulletproof vest.
Come on, man.
But it gets even better because the lie they tried to use to cover this up is hilarious. Okay, Charles Eugene Ferris and Christopher Hicks were both arrested Sunday on charges of felony aggravated assault. By the way, they're 50 and 36 years old.
God.
So a sheriff's deputy took the initial report from Ferris at the hospital, where authorities say Ferris invented a story to cover for Hicks. Ferris said he was hired to protect, quote, an asset who paid him $200 to follow him into the woods at Hobb State Park. Ferris said that the pair went out into the woods and met another man around 10 p.m. The man approached Ferris's asset.
Is it asset or ass hat?
Yeah. So the man approached Ferris's asset when a gunfight broke out. Ferris said that he was struck 6 times, but also managed to return fire before driving off with the asset. He's like, come on. He's trying to pretend like he's a professional bodyguard or something.
That's my bodyguard.
Ferris said the asset dropped him off at his vehicle before he dumped his weapons and drove himself to Mercy Hospital. However,
it was clear the ass hat had been hurt.
But here's how it came out. Ferris's wife arrived at the hospital a short time later and told investigators their husband and Hicks shot each other while they were drinking on the back porches of their home.
What happened to the asset?
Ferris later recanted his initial story to deputies, saying that he made it up to keep Hicks from getting in trouble. Ferris said that he had been wearing the vest when he asked Hicks to shoot him with a .22 caliber semi-automatic rifle. The vest stopped the bullet, but still hurt and left a mark on his chest. Ferris became, quote, pissed because he was hurting from the shot and, quote, unloaded the clip into Christopher's back after Hicks put the vest on. So
he asked him to shoot him.
Yeah. Hicks only suffered bruising from the gunshots, and Ferris initially told his wife he was fine after the shooting, but complained about the pain, so she told him to go to the hospital. They're both free on $5,000 bond, and obviously they're going to have to go to court for this. A Texas woman who claimed that her missing Houston landlord faked his death and ran away to Africa 2 years ago has been arrested on murder and theft charges.
Wow.
Yeah, Pamela Ann Merritt allegedly killed Colin Kardashian, confessed to friends, hid the body under the stairs for months, and told police that when they showed up that the remains actually belonged to a dead dog.
With a human head?
Exactly. Police reported Kardashian missing in February 2021 after a storm and a deep freeze gripped the city and caused power outages. Joe Guy, a tenant, told police that he came home from a long trip and found Kardashian gone and Merritt inside and refusing to leave.
I didn't say dog, I said Mog.
He asked her where Mr. Colin, the landlord, was, and the defendant replied that he was dead and that she killed him.
Wow.
At the time, police took Merritt to the hospital for a psychiatric evaluation. But in October 2021, Merritt was back in the building and Kardashian had still not been found. Another tenant, Tabitha Pope, called police to report a suspicious discovery: large pools and drops of blood in the building's upper floors, a knife in the mailbox, and a bin with blood in it on the crawl space. Pope had recently moved into the building and told police that she was paying rent to Merritt and her boyfriend. The woman who killed the landlord is now collecting rent from other people in the building.
Amazing.
Yes. And her boyfriend, Michael Brown, who was there.
That's an entrepreneur.
Totally, yeah. She saw an opportunity.
Absolutely.
According to Pope,
the market will dictate.
Merritt and Brown told her conflicting stories about the building's owner. One was that he was missing, the other is that he died in the hospital. Suspicious of their claims, Pope in December apparently tricked them into revealing the location of Kardashian's body by saying the discovery of his remains would keep the house out of foreclosure. So she called the police and found Kardashian's decomposing remains, and Merritt and Brown allegedly painting over a blood-stained wall on the second floor.
Don't mind that.
Police interviewed Merritt and Brown, and Merritt said the remains belonged to a dead dog. She also told detectives that she thought Kardashian faked his death and went to Africa. Furthermore, she allegedly claimed the blood around her house was, quote, from rotten meat that she cleaned out of the refrigerator.
You know when you throw rotten meat around your house?
She's being held on a $500,000 bond.
She should use the asset defense.
Yeah. All right, nearly 24 participants in a tough mudder competition who crawled, climbed, and waded through a mucky obstacle course recently reported developing bumpy, pus-filled skin rashes and fevers.
Ooh, that sounds good.
On August 19th and 20th, mudders assembled at Sonoma Raceway in California to attempt such a course, but within 24 hours of the event, many people started to get sick. Department of Health Services issued an advisory to all Tough Mudder participants, warning them that multiple people had reported symptoms that could signal a potentially serious infection caused by a group of bacteria called aromonas.
And it was oozing pus?
Yeah.
That's what they call mudder butter.
They received 7 positive cases of bacterial infections from aromonas or aromonas. The department is operating under the assumption that the aromonas bacteria are behind most infections tied to the event. They would have become ill with pus-filled bumps on their skin, fever, muscle aches, and headaches. The symptoms could be indicative of a minor illness called swimmer's itch. You guys ever hear of that?
Yeah, you mentioning this, Preston, years ago when the mudder runs were all the rage.
Yeah.
Articles popped up about the risk of this exact condition.
So swimmer's itch is an allergic reaction triggered by certain microscopic parasites found in animal droppings. And swimmer's itch can cause small blisters and pimples as well as tingling, burning, or itching on the skin, but it usually doesn't require medical attention. However, the mudder symptoms can indicate also a staph infection or more other serious bacterial infections such as aromonas. So, yeah, there's stuff in there, man. There can be poop in there.
Yeah, it's like a mudder butter bar. Have you ever had one?
No, I have not.
They're delicious.
Okay.
You can taste the poop.
But not the
like
pus.
rainbow.
Yeah.
I've had Muddy Buddies, though. Those are good.
Muddy Buddies?
Yeah, it's like a Chex Mix with chocolate and...
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I remember Utter Butters. Have another Utter Butter peanut butter sandwich cookie.
I used to like that.
Yeah, me too.
Those were actually pretty good.
I loved them.
I was not. As I remember,
By the way, the bizarre file's over. So,
as I remember, the cookie was fairly flaky and right.
I remember it was shaped like a peanut.
Right.
And it had peanut butter filling in it. And I loved it. Remember those?
Those, yes.
I
That's
think
what they were called?
I think I
Utter
want me
Butters.
some.
Utter Butter. Nick, could you look up Utter Butter just to make sure that we're correct on that? UTTER.
Oh, not UDD?
No, not UD.
Yeah. Just usually.
They look like nipples.
Grab a nipple and start sucking.
Yeah. They look like a big old nipple.
Nutter butter, Utter butter?
Nutter Butter, not Utter Butters.
Dude, that's what I was like. I've never heard of an Utter Butter,
I'm
but I
sorry.
know
Well,
Nutter
And
Butter.
it was an Nutter butter.
There is Utter butter, and it's UDDER butter, like
For your nipples.
Bag
No,
balm.
it's actually, I think it's to put on cows' udders.
It's like bag balm, which you can also then put on your skin if you get really rough hands in the winter.
I use butter, by the way. It's a BUTT
Yes.
apostrophe R.
Wait a
Your
minute.
butthole.
Well, yeah. I mean, in your butt cheeks for, when you're...
Is bag balm, is that?
It was invented for milking a
Cows?
teat, and but now you can use it as as a salve on your hands if you get
Oh,
rough
I thought
skin.
it was your nutsack.
No.
It seems like an obvious, right?
Yeah.
Sack
Bag balm.
salve.
Yeah.
I do have something called nut butter at home.
Yeah,
which is for your scrotal area. Yeah.
We had bag balm because my dad's skin in the wintertime would get it would get cracked and bleeding. That's how dry it would get. So my mom started buying this bag balm stuff, and it works.
Nick,
but it was originally invented to go on a cow's boob.
I used to date a girl whose dad would get literally in the winter, his hands would become like ashy white.
Yes.
And like super dry, and like he would move his hands, and the skin would start cracking. I mean, it was horrible.
It's painful.
So once you rub that on my...
What if females had an udder?
Yeah, well, I guess they kind
instead of breasts. I mean, it's just the same thing. It's used for the same, it's for nursing.
Then that would turn us on.
I never thought of that. One thing right here on the chest.
Oh, just
in the
one?
middle. Yeah.
Oh, with
Just
several nipples.
One single
uni
udder
udder.
with
I got
several,
you.
which I think there are 4 teats on a
Sometimes there's more, right?
on an udder. I don't know.
How many teats on an udder?
Start tugging and count.
How many teats on an udder?
Maybe that's a stupid question tomorrow.
That might be. I
I
gotta
think-
believe there's 4.
For example, you're talking about a nipple array like on a cat. They have more,
Right.
like 6.
Normally, the cow has 4 teats of about equal size on an udder.
Okay.
But sometimes 6.
Sometimes 6.
Yeah. And how many does a cat have, Steve?
I think 6.
I think
I'm
I think
constantly
there's
feeling up
6.
my calves.
Yeah.
I'll go sneak up behind my cat when they're at the sink and.
These are things we talk about on the Preston and Steve show. So. All right, so we're going to take a break. We're going to come back in a
Have
second.
some Nutter Butter.
And have a Nutter Butter. I apologize. I got that wrong. Nutter Butter. But when we come back, maybe we'll have a question about teats. I don't know. We're going to have to do the lesson question. We'll see if you get it right and can win a prize. So stay put. We'll be back in a moment.
Preston and Steve. 93.3 WMMI.
Just outside, standing in the glen, farting.
In the glen.
The glen. The morning dew collected on the leaves and grass. Yeah. Just decided it'd be a good time for farting. It does sound better, doesn't it?
Oh,
it does.
Oh, it needs to be a song.
Where were you, Auntie Sarsha? I was outside farting, dear. Farting hard.
There needs to be a song called Farting in the Glen.
Farting in the Glen.
I want to let Marissa vent for a moment because she posted something on Instagram yesterday. I got a lot of response. I thought it was kind of interesting. And there is a movement right now to phase out some plastics that we use in the world to maybe cut back on things that don't biodegrade, and they're clogging up, they're getting out in the water in the oceans, or they're filling up landfills and so on and so forth. I know they're actually in the UK, there's a big movement to get rid of the plastic tampon applicators.
Oh. Yes.
And
going back to wood.
No.
Ow.
Like George Washington's teeth. Martha Washington used wooden tampons. And they were not effective.
Well, they were balls, though. They were very
They were balls, a little absorbent. They left rings.
But the applicators, I saw Alice Eve, because I follow her on Instagram, had posted a video of trying to end that. So they would go with like a cardboard or paper or something.
My thing with these floating garbage farms that are in the oceans is that and many times they kill sharks, Case.
Oh.
So there's
some good we might be overlooking.
Okay. That's what they're trying to eliminate, stuff like that. And I can get it. Your thing sort of actually, believe it or not, Marissa, hit home to me because I think I have a level of passion about what you're talking about.
All right. Since I was a little kid, I'm thinking second grade, because I was in school in the 90s and there was a big push to not have the refrigerator open for too long, to turn off lights, to make sure that you turn off water, to conserve water. Yep, while you're brushing your teeth. I followed all those. It's stuck through my life. I walk whenever I can. I take public transportation.
You're like a contestant on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire
exactly.
now.
I will do anything to save the earth. It's just second nature to me. I don't even think twice. I recycle, I reuse. But when I drink a vodka water, I want to be able to mash the crap out of the lemon and lime that come in my drink. And with these gosh darn paper straws, they get destroyed. And then I have this mushy straw in my drink. And it pisses me off.
So the gist of it is you do not like the paper straws because you do not believe they are resilient enough.
No, they suck.
Okay.
Whoever's making them, they have no integrity and they fall apart. And I just want a plastic straw. I'm sorry. I love the turtles.
Why not just use a
well, hang on,
Yeah.
Steve. I would. This is the only time I've ever asked to do this. Can I come over there and borrow your reverb for a moment?
Yeah, please. Oh, my God, it's a pleasure.
Hold on, turn it off just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, to me, this sounds like a first world problem.
But we took a long journey to get to the point that Marissa doesn't like paper straws.
I just had a realization, Preston. This is probably something that I deal with 3 or 4 times a week. Is that more of a first world problem?
Yeah.
That I probably have a vodka water 3 or 4 times a week.
Well, your alcohol addiction might be the bigger issue here.
No, the raging alcoholism is a secondary issue. The waking up in alleyways and
so listen. We were at
knife fights.
Have you ever seen people drink sodas or anything that comes in a bottle out of a straw? You put the straw in the bottle.
Yes. Yeah.
I think part of now, do women sometimes, Marissa, opt to not drink out of a bottle or right out of a glass because of lipstick and a straw instead?
Well, lipstick or staining your teeth, all of those things. Or my mother would never drink anything out of a bottle. That would, for me, when you see a bride,
is it vulgar?
I don't know. There's just time and place for that, and I think.
She'd take the bottle, go over to the windowsill, There we go.
I love opening bottles that way.
Yeah. Yes.
There's a great scene in Overboard where Goldie Hawn comes back.
That's exactly what I
She's
thought of.
opening the beer that way.
Yeah.
I try. That hurts your hand.
Do you think guys would drink beer out of a bottle if the top of the bottle looked like a little? Wait, I probably shouldn't say it out loud.
Okay, I was. You guys would drink it.
I got a question. Yes, Casey? Something you want to tell the class? You think guys would drink something out of beer but look like a vagina?
No.
He's saying
I
the
was
other
going male
thing.
part.
If it
Well,
looked like
Opposite, every bachelorette party ever would buy those bottles of beer.
Right?
That's true. Yeah.
I'm sure there are things that are similar, you know. But they, you know, people get picky about the taste of the stuff in the can and the bottle if it affects the taste, you know.
Yeah.
And straws are just one more step.
Those are things you think about, huh?
Oh, it's just what, you know.
Dear diary, I wonder if men would drink out of bottles.
Yeah, stop it.
If it looked like penises.
Somebody in this room had mentioned chocolate tampons earlier, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, I was trying to help the health industry. and there's an obvious cooperative between Hershey's and
okay.
Tampax.
Well, Marissa has had it. I thought you would get more support on the phones, Marissa, to be
Not a
honest,
one.
on the paper straws, and it's not really happening.
You're a complainer.
I got a lot of hands up emojis on my Instagram, so I got.
The hell does that mean?
I don't know. People were
Give
like,
up.
praise. Yes,
Give up.
word.
Put your hands up.
Give up your stupid
Give
cause.
it up.
No.
Yeah. Praise.
No, like word girl, we support you.
Word girl. Yeah.
Oh my God. It reminds me of Pat Boone's first day in Compton.
Word girl.
Word girl.
Oh, I just hate these goddamn paper straws. They're so.
That's it. Word girl.
That's it.
Word
That's it.
Preach. Preach, girl.
Where is the Q in Q-tip derived from?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. It's technically a cotton swab.
Right. So a C-tip.
So I don't know where.
No one wants to put a C-tip in their ear.
I have no idea.
And by the way, Q-tip, you've done something to your product. You've cut some corners.
Are you talking directly to
Yes,
the Q-tip
I am
people?
talking to you, Q-tip. You've cut some corners, and I have noticed. But fortunately for you, you're still the best product on the market.
That's your fight song.
That's my fight
That's
song.
right.
1 second.
And I have noticed. Wait a minute. What is this? Is the swab part smaller?
No, the cardboard.
Medicated.
The cardboard is thinner. It's like they've shaved off a layer or two of the cardboard stick, and
Why do you go like this? With
I don't know.
stick?
I don't know.
The hell is that?
This part right here.
Okay, but
Yeah.
this
Holy
is-
crap, you have one.
Oh, I have.
Let me see.
Oh, Nick, you don't see it. He sits here while we're in the middle of breaks, and he cleans his ear.
You know what he's like, Preston?
Yes,
He's
you
like
do.
Hyman Roth sitting there.
I itch my ears or scratch my ears because they get itchy, and I'm.
Well, I don't care. Whatever. You're sticking that thing in your ear, and I turn over.
my ear. I got a little thing in my
Listen, man.
There's usually something in one of his orifices when I turn and look at him.
I got a bit of a boogie here in my
Yes,
nose and
exactly.
my ear.
Pick an orifice. It stands for quality tip.
We're
Steve.
bigger than U.S. Steel.
Oh, did you hear that?
What?
It stands for quality tip.
Oh, okay.
Q-tip.
All right.
And so you've noticed a diminishment in the quality of the quality tip.
Yes, this should be less Q-tip, less quality.
How about
tip.
SP subpar?
Everyone's trying to be environmentally friendly, so maybe
that.
that's a part of it, like the cardboard straws.
Oh, you know what? Here's a bit of trivia, and I did. I have heard this before. The original name of Q-tips were baby gays.
Now you're talking.
I know it.
93.3 WMMR. Foo Fighters on the program. About 10:15 on a Monday morning of the President's Tea Show. I've hit this a few times. The fact that we do have a very cool Word of the Week prize this week, and it's 4 tickets to the Aerosmith Farewell Show.
Yeah.
Tuesday, or I'm sorry, this Saturday at the Wells Fargo Center, and Black Crowes performing as well. It's called Peace Out, the Farewell Tour, and it's kicking off in Philadelphia. So, stick with us. The letter's going to be along shortly. And want to make sure, I did mention all our Cooling Caravan drop-offs this morning.
They were out making magic today.
XL Hydraulics and Tioga Marine Terminal. And just a reminder that it's pumpkin at Dunkin', man. If you haven't heard, Dunkin's pumpkin lineup is indeed back. So we thank them
for participating in that this morning. All right, we're going to do today's lesson question. We are going to give away as a prize this week a pair of tickets to the MMRBQ. Saturday, September 16th. How about that? And the question that I ask is this. We know that there's a Dolly Parton brand of Duncan Hines biscuits, but she also put her name on what other product? 215-263-WMMR. Now, don't go looking up Dolly Parton products. It had to be what was said on the air this morning, and it's not real. She doesn't really have this product, as far as I know. 215-263-WMMR. Let's see if you know the answer. There's a Dolly Parton brand of Duncan Hines biscuits. She also put her name on what other product? Call now if you know.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
While you call, we'll get some stories from Steve. So let's go ahead and do that now. What's up this morning, Steve?
Absolutely. Well, Mitchell Musso, famous for playing Oliver Oaken on Hannah Montana, was arrested at a Texas hotel this weekend for belligerent behavior. Musso told authorities he purposely made a scene in hopes that someone would say he was famous for playing Oliver Oaken.
Yeah.
And it worked. Latin rapper Bad Bunny, I don't know if you guys saw this, causing a social media stir by posting a cropped nude photo on Instagram showing what appears to be a huge mound of pubic hair. In a related story, girlfriend Kendall Jenner was seen leaving a Brentwood Home Depot after purchasing a machete.
Oh, my God.
And finally, R. Kelly's former victims have been awarded a total of $10.5 million for threats he made against them for appearing in the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries. Kelly says the whole incident has really taken the piss out of him.
All right, we are looking for the answer to this. We know that there's a Dolly Parton brand of Duncan Hines biscuits. She also put her name on which other product? 215-263-WMMR. It is Craig that we will go to. Hey, Craig, morning, bud.
Yo, how you doing?
Good, man. All right, so not only does Dolly Parton have Duncan Hines biscuits, what else does she have?
Motor oil.
Motor oil. Yeah, hang on, Craig. Got tickets to the MMRBQ. It's coming up, man. September 16th. Freedom Mortgage Pavilion, Shinedown, Billy Idol, Larkin Poe, Aaron Jones, Dirty Honey, Finger 11, Tiger Cub, Vixen 77, the Preston and Steve side stage, live music from Don McCluskey and band, and also live band karaoke. Jackie Bam Bam DJ set. There's so much going on. Go to Ticketmaster.com, WMMR.com as well, and there are concert shirts available until tomorrow in the MMR Rock Shop. All right, let's do music news.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
You might fart.
Yoga fire.
All right. I
Change
have
it up there.
a couple of stories to pass along. We'll start with this. White Snake's original guitarist and one of the band's founding members, Bernie Marsden, has died at the age of 72.
Aww.
Yeah. Among the numerous songs he penned, he co-wrote the band's massive 1987 hit, Here I Go Again, with David Coverdale. Coverdale shared a tribute to his former bandmate and wrote, I've just woken up to the awful news that my old friend and former Snake, Bernie Marsden, has passed. My sincere thoughts and prayers to his beloved family, friends, and fans. A genuinely funny, gifted man whom I was honored to know and share the stage with. As a recording musician, his name appears on hundreds of albums. His first band, by the way, he was in UFO. I know tons of people who I never really, I don't know anything by UFO, but they are cited as one of those
They're revered.
influential bands.
I'm right in that same camp with you. I'm like, really? And so why do I keep hearing about these guys?
And his first band put him on stage actually with Ringo Starr in Monaco. He played the Beacon Theater in New York with the Allman Brothers Band and also wrote and played with Motorhead. And he occasionally still played with Whitesnake. His family released a statement that he passed away peacefully and was surrounded by his wife and 2 daughters at the time of his death. So sad news.
Very sad.
Yeah. But this is uplifting news.
He's alive again.
Andy Taylor has been battling a deadly form of cancer for years, but he's done a complete 180 recently and now says that he isn't showing symptoms of the disease.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, the Duran Duran guitarist was interviewed by the Times of London revealing the amazing news about his favorable stage 4 prostate cancer prognosis. He gave all the credit to his miraculous recovery to scientist Christopher Evans, who used an innovative treatment to target his cancer cells with radioactive chemicals. Taylor said, I was classified as palliative, end-of-life care, Now I'm not. I'm asymptomatic. But he admits that the process has been tough on him, saying that he turns, quote, radioactive for several days and has gone through many psychological highs and lows during his journey. He said 6 weeks after he was first diagnosed in 2018, he hit rock bottom emotionally, thinking he was going to die. He said, you're going to have to say goodbye to your family. You're not going to see your grandson's 10th birthday party. Psychologically, it's mind-blowing. You can't have therapy to remove certainty of death. He kept his disease private until Duran Duran was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022 after Simon Le Bon had read a letter from him explaining his cancer fight during the band's acceptance speech. Taylor says he's not out of the woods yet. He still has to go through a few more rounds of cancer treatments, but things are certainly on the right track now.
So if the symptoms are stopped and all of that, and they kind of just lock it, I mean, that initially when I first heard the story on this potential a while ago, they were saying, 5 to 6 additional years of life, but now the prognosis is even better. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
So that's
amazing
good news.
stuff. Yeah.
And Duran Duran is in town, I think, next week.
And you're seeing them.
I'm definitely going. Me and my wife and my youngest are going. And then finally, this is actually from a listener. I got this in from Greg in Bucks County, and I'm sure that Chuck would know this. He said, good morning at Presbo. I was watching a rockumentary on AXS TV, Triumph, Rock and Roll Machine. And there's a segment about halfway in where they spend a good 5 minutes covering one of their stops at the Spectrum. And it shows bassist Mike Levine doing an interview at WMMR wearing a Flyers jersey at the concert. Pretty cool stuff. So I thought that was pretty awesome. And if you're a Triumph fan, I haven't seen it yet. I know that Chuck has seen it. He said it's great. But I definitely want to check that out because I love that band. All right, and there you go. That is what I have in the music news for you. We have a final break to take. We're going to do it now. Come back in a second. We'll get that first letter for the Word of the Week prize, which we will give away on Thursday this week. So keep that in mind. Thursday, 4-letter word. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Our favorite, the Jet and Pastor.
That is absolutely correct. And, he still wants his new private jet, but he wants to make it clear that he's not actually asking anybody for money.
Listen to these verbal gymnastics that he's doing here. I think even he's surprised at how much this caught on because it just sort of swept across. It became a viral meme. And where these guys, it'd be easier to get away with this stuff maybe 10 years ago. And now it was just all over the place. It was on the national news. He was asking for his $54 million jet. Yeah. And we played audio of him walking down the hallway of his establishment there, his church, for whatever he calls it, pointing to the different jets he's owned. He has had 3 before. He needs this 4th $54 million jet that carries a lot of fuel so he won't have to stop as he's spreading the word of the Lord.
That's it. So here's a couple of clips, and let's see what he has to say about not actually asking for money.
He didn't ask for money.
Here we go.
I'm not asking you to pay for my plane. The Lord said, I didn't ask you to pay for it. I asked you to believe for it. I don't dupe nobody. I've always been honest. 40 years I've been preaching this gospel, and I've never had a scandal. And this is not a scandal. I'm not discouraged. I'm not distressed. In fact, I am excited. I've never had this much press in my life. Well, that's negative. It don't make no difference.
And it's negative. It don't make no difference.
Don't make no difference.
So he's asking.
I am excited about all this negative press painting me as a money-sucking prick.
Yeah. So he said, I asked you to believe for it.
Believe for it.
Not to pay for it.
Now, if your method of believing involves your checkbook, I'm absolutely happy with that.
He had said, I never raised money for the plane. I put it in our magazine and said, believe God with me. He said there's a vast difference between believe in God and asking for money.
He's a Journey song, Preston. Don't stop believing.
Yeah. In the earlier video,
I'm just a small-town preacher living in a lonely world.
He could turn it around.
Yeah, turn it around.
Yeah, he used to take the train everywhere.
Yeah, but I took a $54 million jet going anywhere.
Without further ado,
WMMR presents Bucksco versus Delco.
Here we go, gang.
Bucksco
This is going to be the final round today. Actually, 2 rounds of competition, same contest, but we are going to make this whole thing happen and finish it up today, and we are going to crown a victor, and that's all there is to it. Before we get to the final event, here is a recap of the events leading up to this epic showdown. Listen, the week started off with Operation Evac, a race where the contestants were blindly dropped into enemy territory. Kathy started at Casey's golf course, Paxton Hollow in Delco, and Casey in Bucksco at Kathy's alma mater, Pennsbury. Now, without using GPS, they had to navigate their way to their home base.
Just go straight. Thank you.
Okay, go straight. Peel wheels.
I feel like there's probably another road this way.
While Casey was stuck in traffic on the turnpike,
That could work in our favor.
Kathy was able to navigate back to Bucks County, earning her 200 points.
It's a bunch of crap!
For day 2, both contestants needed a call for reinforcements. Kathy asked her best friend, Elisa, a.k.a. Queen Bee, and Casey brought in his big brother, Dave, a.k.a. Foz. The contestants and their partners mind melded, then competed in a thrilling match of the Pyramid Game.
All right, this is where the U.S. Open was?
Oh, that's Aronimink.
No.
Oh, Marion, sorry.
That's the one you just said?
Marion.
No, the other one.
Aronimink.
In the end, Kathy got an even bigger lead with 430 points, but Casey was right at her heels with 320 points. Day 3 brought us into the skies. We blindfolded Kathy and Casey, flew them in a helicopter over an unidentified spot in their respective county, and they had 30 seconds to guess what town they were hovering over. Casey had some difficulty figuring it out, earning 200 points.
I guess Knowlton is in media.
That's correct! Yes, you got it! But Kathy got it on her first try, bringing in an additional 300 points.
I'm going to say Ben Salem.
That is absolutely correct. Day 4 was a doubleheader. Kathy and Casey went head-to-head in a county spelling bee, and then had to answer questions from Delco versus Bucksco from 5 years ago. Casey must have done his homework, because he was finally able to pull ahead. And so, the totals going into the final day: Kathy, 1,030. Casey, 1,170. Casey is leading in the competition so far. So I defer to Casey to decide who gets to go first.
Ladies first.
All right,
So
ladies first is what we're going to do. So Kathy, taking a look at the categories, which one would you like to begin with? Geography and transportation, sports, entertainment, schools and education, shopping, landmarks, history, or food and drink?
I guess I'll go shopping.
Shocker! I know. And how much would you care to wager in that particular category?
I'm going to go 50 points.
Kathy, what outdoor shopping area between New Hope and Doylestown hosts a place called Giggleberry Farm?
New Hope and Doylestown. I'm going to say Peddler's Village.
And that's correct for 50 points.
I don't know what Giggles whatever is, but...
Casey, it is your turn. What category do you want to go with next?
Let's go sports.
Sports.
And I will go sports for 60.
All right, sports for 60 points. Here we go. Casey, your question. In Newtown Square, a famous heir lived on a large piece of land where he hosted a wrestling camp for Olympic athletes. What is his name?
DuPont.
Yes, that is correct.
Well done.
Okay, let's go schools and education for 50 points, Preston.
All right.
Schools and education for 50 points.
All right. Kathy, what is the Council Rock North mascot?
Oh.
Council Rock North mascot. The mascot one would find at that school.
I don't know. The Rock.
Okay, so you're going to go with The Rock?
I'm going to go with The Rock.
That's incorrect. They are the Indians.
I did not know that.
Go, Rock. Go.
What year did the Springfield Mall open?
Oh, Jesus. I mean, why couldn't you ask me what year
He didn't.
Target opened?
Just ask it. Just answer.
Kathy's very supportive.
This is the history of your county, man.
I know. And Target opened in 2005. But, You know?
Well, can you use that?
Wanamaker's closing 95. Hex open after that.
You did study. You lied to me.
No, my mom quizzed me last night. We were eating chili, and she asked me lots of trivia.
We're eating chili.
We're eating chili.
Yeah.
Meet you in the basement. I'm bringing a pen.
I mean, the first Wawa opened in 1964.
Okay, yeah, let's get to the
I will say.
If you got this right.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw out a number there. I'm going to go with the year I was born, 1975.
Oh, my God.
No, it was 74. Dude, you were today, 93.3 WMMR. About 81 degrees is our high, and a little less humidity, and mainly clouds.
Comfortable.
For the course of the day. Yeah, I would agree. And it looks a little breezy out right now. Trees are kind of swaying around right now.
Down the boardwalk.
Yeah, whipping down.
Hey, man.
So tomorrow we're looking at some spotty showers here and there. Nothing that looked intense or at any great length, but high about 78, and then some morning rain on Wednesday. We're going to be topping off at about 82. I would like to thank our guest, Brandon Marsh.
Yeah, good
of the
sport.
Phils. A very good sport. He played in honor of Bob Barker passing away. He played a pricing game with us and came this close to winning. Very, very close. But Steve was victorious. But we had a good time with him. It was a good sport to do it. Here's a text that came in and said, "Hey guys, I just want to say I saw Marsh up at Lehigh after the game. He signed autographs for kids and some parents and anybody who wanted one for over an hour after he played the game." So,
that says it all.
Kind of guy he is.
That's it.
Definitely. And thanks again to Duncan for heading out. With Preston Steve Cooling Caravan, we hit XL Hydraulics in Clarksboro, New Jersey, and then Tioga Marine Terminal on Delaware Avenue in Port Richmond. So we appreciate them going and taking all the iced coffee out. Don't forget to order your seasonal favorites from Dunkin', including the pumpkin spice signature latte, the pumpkin donut, nutty pumpkin coffee, and more. And Philly runs on Dunkin'.
Can you imagine you're working out on a job site and it's like 76 degrees.
Oh, you need to cool off. But anyhow,
it's all good though. It's delicious.
Absolutely. All right, we need to do the letter of the day, and I understand Casey is the only person in the world that can do it today.
Wow.
Here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
And the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter
B, as in back in the saddle.
All right, and yep, we're going to give away a 4-pack of tickets as MMR rocks Aerosmith Peace Out the Farewell Tour this Saturday, September 2nd at the Wells Fargo Center. The Black Crowes are performing as well. It is the 50th anniversary of Aerosmith, celebrating a lifetime of hits. Very few tickets remain for sale, and we will give those away on Thursday. Keep in mind, it's a short work week this week for us as we're headed into the holiday weekend. I'm going to thank our sponsors, Preston and Steve Show, brought to you today by Dunkin', and the Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin', of course, and by Wilmington University. Find your education home at Wilmington University. WilmU.edu. Tomorrow on the program, many things, including comedian Giancarlo Sorrisi on the program. So we'll see what else we get into. That's it. We are done. So rage on and have yourself a great day. And we'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.
Preston and Steve. Mm-hmm.